day.
Yo, what up, what up, what up? Y'all know the deal, man. Like and share, like and share, like and share. So get this thing out everywhere. There's anywhere in the world it could be, but it's always right here with me, the BABGOG. And I appreciate you to pull up on me. What's going on? What's going on, everybody, man? Shout out everybody being shout out to D Champ, shout out to Dolomite, shout out to Mr. Nazi, shout out to Phoenix Fish, shout out to Creed, lovely lady with the money coming through. Nah, I just gotta, I gotta season it, baby. I gotta let it marinate just a little longer. Nah, man. Shout out to everybody, bro. Y'all see the title. And yeah, man, we gonna get into this. Pardon my, I guess, if I have a lack of energy, bro, but y'all know I've been doing this shit, bro. And most of this content to me, but this whole, the whole kid stabbing situation is bothering me, bro, because I'm worried. I try to give us the benefit of the doubt, but, as much as people say, niggas can't be saved or whatever, right? I'm starting to see that it's a whole lot more niggas than we realize. That's what this whole situation is bringing to my attention. And it's sad and disappointing, but hey, at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. So that's all I got to say about that. We move forward. The report came out, and I guess, hey, news like this gets around social media fairly slow because it isn't too hyperbolic or, it's nothing negative or whatever for the most part. Overall, it's a negative thing, but, it isn't anything inflammatory. So we're going to start here. I don't know why this shit. All right.
Surprising discoveries when it comes to first-time mothers. We've got a new report, and it shows that more women over 40 are having children these days.
In fact, the fertility rate in women between the ages of 40 to 44 has increased 127% in the last 15 years.
Now, remember now. This is where we're gonna go with this, right? Now, this creates so many problems from a societal standpoint, from a health standpoint, and this is what we be talking about when it's just like women is like, fuck that. This is how I want to do it. This is how we're gonna do it. Okay. Fuck that. I don't care if it's gonna put me at higher risk. I don't care if it's gonna put the baby at higher risk. I don't care if it's gonna fuck over society because now you're shifting 20 years, bro. Okay. You're shifting almost 20 years of starting a new life. And then that's creating much more of a gap of you not being there for the kid. But I don't want to get too far into it. But yeah.
And for women 35 to 39, it's
so when we say and we tell y'all out here, listen, the young girls ain't having these kids no more. You can't blame the young girls. Most of this irresponsible, poor pussy management is happening by grown ass women. Grown. You hear me? 127% increase. That means more than double. Okay, that's like double and a quarter, right? 71% increase is what? Half, like almost three quarters, almost 0.75 times, right? So what we telling you, man, bro, how do we get to this point? Now, a big reason for it is, hey, less marriages, right? More people were having families and children earlier back in the day because more people were married and married much earlier, right? But now that marriage is pretty much a thing of a past on both sides. And these women are foregoing marriage and saying, hey, my biological clock is ticking, my biological clock is ticking, my biological clock is ticking. I still need to have this baby. Now, she 35 plus, having her first kid. These grandma moms out here, these grandmommies, are motherfucking blowing up the spot, man. And women are on social media celebrating this as if it's a good thing when, bro, this is horrible. Because think about this, right? So the life expectancy of a woman, I think the life expectancy of a woman in the United States overall somewhere like 70 plus. I think it's probably like somewhere between 70 and 75, right? That's life expectancy of a woman, okay? You have your child at 20 years old or 25, let's say 25, right? Your child gets to experience you for 50 years of their life. All right, you're old, they get to be a little old, and you go on to glory, hopefully, peaceful partying. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Do you think it's better that older women are having kids or worse if teens are having kids? Well, if we're talking teens as in under 18, yes. If we're talking teens as in 18, 19, so that's a good question. We'll work through it. But that is a great question. Shout out to Cree. So is your issue having a child period over 40 or being a first time mother at 40? My problem is, or my issue is definitely more so the first time being a mother or first child over 40 than having a kid over 40. But having kids over 40 overall is just more of a gamble. Now with the modern health and stuff like that or whatever, modern medicine and medical technology, it's a whole lot easier for a woman to have a kid versus 50, 100 years ago. Still though, there are much higher chances of there being birth defects and things that affect the children. You feel me? So if this trend continues and then we see a rise and spike in autism or other birth defects and things like that, well, now what? Because how are you going to reverse it? And I think definitely here for the T. Anything under 18, yeah, that's definitely more of a problem than a 40-year-old. But that's what I'm saying. Shout out to, listen, again, man, I told y'all, it's more old hoes than young hoes. And the old hoes teach the young hoes the hoe. Sorry. Shout out more for your mom for the 5. Maybe that old pussy hit different. Them kids gonna be on short buses. Hey man, I gotta pray they don't, but we gonna see. We're already seeing the effects. I have a lot of friends who are teachers and speak about media students on the spectrum. Yeah, and I'm telling you, here for the tea. Well, I don't think a lot of people are having a lot of, but 100% is a lot. So just and again, I'm not talking down to y'all, but 100% literally means it double, right? So if you had 10 women on average that was having, kids over 40, let's say they said it in the 90s, so 1990, right? It doubled to 20, but we know we're talking like thousands and possibly millions, right? So for that to go up by that much over what 90 to this is what 35 year period, man, that's a lot. Shout out to more for your mom again. Greatly appreciate your brother. Old hoes hungry for dick. Hey, man. Hey, it's clean and pristine, baby. Just know Miss Josephine out here having that baby. You INs better be, hey, don't be out here paying motherfucking child support to a grandma, nigga. All right, Miss Josephine is gonna go down to that child support office. You hear me? Y'all, hey, it's a dirty game out here. Shout out to RP Tipsy, bad. My cousin-in-law is one of those 40-plus-year-old grandmothers, and his wife, or mid-40s, just had a kid in February. So hold on, wait, brother. Oh, okay, so no, so you're saying like grandmommies, like the play on word, like I'm saying, you're not saying she's a grandmom and she had a kid, or what are you saying? Are you saying she's a grandmother and she had a child? Yeah, well, listen, Albercia, that's another thing too. I keep telling y'all, man, and this is why I say, man, I don't think people understand and realize just how bad this gender war shit is, because we're starting to see an uptick, and they're being forced to report just how many of these female teachers are violating these boy students, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. So these women are trying to, they hate men, 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 men are bad, I'll choose the bear, all this fucking feminist rhetoric, right? I'm a strong, independent woman. So my career. So she does all the feminist shit, but still, like you said, that urge for her to have a child. That's why I keep telling y'all, biological imperative is a fucking motherfucker, bro. A biological imperative is just what it is. It's something that you have the will to do involuntarily. You don't know why. You can't describe it. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just something telling you to fucking do it. Okay. So she's not a grandmama already. Okay, so she's a grandmommy. I got you. Shout out to Prince Revolver, Magnum Opus. Greatly appreciate your brother for the 2. Women follow their biology backwards. Well, I don't think it's backwards. I don't think it's following biology backwards. I think it's a lot of the feminist propaganda that's telling them that you need to get a lot of money, you need to be an alpha woman, you need to, you put yourself first. I gotta put me first. On some what was that show? Empire type shit, right? But I can put having a family off. And with marriage happened a whole lot later, right? Because they're no longer getting married in their 20s, right? I think what the average age for marriage is right at 29 or 30. And both sides are saying, fuck marriage. Well, what is we gonna do? You feel me? What's gonna happen? You're gonna have to have an adjustment, right? But the problem is the amount of women that are choosing to do it. If you just had a onesie twosies, and it'd be like, you know, in the norm, a couple of chicks here and there doing it. And I'm gonna look for the raw numbers to see if we have it, because it's in the report. I'm gonna try to pull up through the report. But let's get back to the
It's gone up 71%. Now, scientists credit major advancements in medical technologies which give women more control over their own fertility.
NBC News medical contributor Dr. Kavita Patel joins us with more on this. Hi, Dr. Patel. Great to have you with us. So, look, a conversation that a lot of us are super familiar with now. It is fertility medicine, is freezing eggs, freezing embryos, and the way that can help here. This report, it comes from the National Center for Health Statistics. It revealed that the age group that's having the most children, it also increased. So now the age group having the most is women between the ages of 30 and 34.
Now, again, listen. So listen, that's a 10-year offset, or 5 to 10 year offset. If I remember, I think my mom had me when she was like 21, right? And if we go back and track it, I would surmise that most women were having their children somewhere between, I would say, just off the top of my head, 20 and like 27, their first child, as you go back in time, more likely than not, right? Even after the divorce boom, I would still say most of the children were being had on average somewhere around 25 by 25 first child. Hence, again, remember, they're making a comparison of teen pregnancies and things which they had a major issue with in the 90s, right? So what's happened is, and I don't think people, or shout out to the ladies don't talk about this as much, but the ladies that, especially those that were born to teen moms, saw the hell and saw the motherfucking just nightmare of what happens when you have a kid young, right? So all in all those teen pregnancy shows like 16 and pregnant or some shit like that, I think what it is or whatever. But all those shit like that, man, it actually worked because, well, along with birth control and shit, of course, right? But these girls are like, hey, not me. I'm not finna be motherfucking out here struggling with a kid and trying to make it and trying to go to school and trying to work and trying to find my way and trying to get established, you know, before I even become an adult. And now I'm a kid raising a kid, which is going to offset everything and fuck over everybody. So that's a good thing that came out of this, to where the younger girls stop having kids in their teens, right? But now you swung the fucking pendulum in the opposite direction too far. It should have landed somewhere in the middle, which is saying like, okay, hey, 25 or so, or you know, somewhere between 25 and 30 is cool. But now you're saying the largest group is 30 to 34, and then either second or third would be the next two groups versus the younger, I'm guessing. That's another thing too. Shout out to Prince Revolver, Magna Opus for another 5. Appreciate you, brother. Freezing your eggs is not an option for the average women. The time and money that goes into this is not on your side. Dog moms is for a reason. Yeah, and that's another thing too. Remember, that's what Ebony K. Williams did, and that's another thing that, again, I told y'all, women suffer from "I'm every woman" syndrome. Right? They feel like they the same as fucking Janet Jackson. They the same as fucking Drea. They the same as Ashanti. They believe they have the the money, the income, the connections, and all this other shit to have their babies at 40, just like these celebrities that's got, you know, endless motherfucking money and the best of fucking medical care possible. And I think that's what's going to end up catching up to this thing, man, because again, these women are trying to do something that's just, you know, it's not going to end up good, bro. Yeah, brother. Please don't crash, brother. Just wait till you get somewhere. You ain't got to type while you're driving. Shout out to Creed. Honestly, I was too immature to be someone's mother at 20 or 25. And Creed, I mean, shout out to you for understanding that and not just bringing a child into the world recklessly. I mean, I think, you know, everybody's not the same, right? Everybody's not the same. But I think, to be honest with you, none of us are really, truly mature in having a kid until you have a kid, because I can tell you, as much as I thought I knew about kids before I had my kids, I learned just how much I didn't know, right? And then, once you have like another set of kids, you have some distance between your kids, you learn from the mistakes you made with the earlier kids, and you improve as you get later. You feel me? But definitely, I think if you're in a situation, ideally in a stable, healthy relationship, and you have a child mid-20s, I think again that's a part of your maturation. I can say I'm not a mother by any means, but I know for a fact when I became a dad, I had to mature, and I matured like greatly. I had to think different. I had to operate different. A lot of my decisions that I made weren't just predicated on myself anymore. I had to do, hey, if I do this, this is going to affect my babies. You feel me? So I think when you have that first kid, you understand that you're not mature, so to speak, but you mature very, very quickly, because I think your parental instincts take over, and it gives you um a clearer vision of situations and different perspectives as to where you're making the best possible outcome, because it's not just you anymore. You're less likely to gamble. You're less likely to do a lot of risky shit or whatever, because you got kids to take care of. See, man, listen, man, I am not finna y'all see Cree, man. I can talk to her.
Why do you think it is that so many women are waiting to have children until a little later in their adult lives?
Yeah, Savannah Joe, this is a trend we've seen, as you mentioned, over years. It's not just a recent trend. Women are prioritizing careers, education, and not to mention significant financial concerns about raising children, including childcare and just the cost of living that we've been talking about for all Americans. And then I think to your point, there's been just more education and broader accessibility to kind of fertility treatments and how to think about changing like expectations and social norms for when to have a baby.
Waiting to get pregnant and have children after the age of 35, we know that sharply increases a woman's chance for some sort of complication. Talk about what are some of the risks women should understand.
Yeah, and so definitely talk, because these risks can also vary depending on what your kind of baseline medical condition is.
Now, again, they're going to tell you this. So this is a problem. And this is like why, let me see how I want to say this. Women are followers by nature, right? Women have a hive mind, a follow the leader type, whatever. They're trendy, right? If it's a fashion thing, be it hair, be it clothes, be it makeup or whatever, women are going to follow what the rest of the women are doing. This is going to set a very, very questionable precedence if it keeps going the way it's going, to where now we have the majority of the kids being had closer to 40 than closer to like 25. Okay. That's going to offset some shit, because like I said, now you're going to have a gap in between, on average, of like when the kids are being had. So people got to understand, bro. Another big so I say something that's biological imperative is a simple complexity, right? It's a very, very simple thing, that to the point of where we don't even think about it. No one ever talks about it, right? But like a lot of shit in life, like breathing, you don't fucking talk about the shit because it's involuntary. You just naturally do it. But if you that shit, you can't breathe. Hey, you immediately becomes the fucking thing then, right? But unless you're going through some type of medical episode or injury, that never happens. So we don't think of it. It's the same thing when we talk about the biological imperative, right? So when you don't have enough kids to replace it's supposed to be like a replacement thing, just naturally happens. And we've seen this in China. We're seeing it over in Asia, as to where the trends of the things that they're doing, and the people aren't having enough kids. So now you got a whole bunch of old people, right? And not enough young people to work to replace the old people that can't work anymore. And then not enough young people to even take care of or care about taking care of the old people. When you create these gaps. This is more of a social thing, right? That women are doing and that they're going to shift us to, that doesn't have to be that way. Now, at the same time, you can't make a woman have a child or whatever, but how selfish is it if you actually plan on having children or having a child to wait till you're fucking 40 years old? You're gambling with your child. Unless you can afford the I know now they got what, the CRISPR technology and the quote unquote designer babies, to where you can make sure the kid's gonna come out with, perfect genetics and all his chromosomes in the proper place, and you can pick the eye color and the hair color. He's gonna be fucking 6'2", with 6'7" wingspan and a damn hazel eyes, some shit. You feel me? Unless you can do that, which again we know 90+% of people aren't going to be able to do. Now it comes to the point of where you're gambling with your child's health, and we're going to have a lot more the kids that are had. Now you're going to have a higher increase of deficiencies and how do I want to say it? Not necessarily disabilities, right? So deficiencies and disabilities. Okay, that's what's going to happen, and we know that. So now the people that were supposed to be had at 25 or under 30, right, in totally healthy conditions, you not only have a rise in the number of women having children or not even being able to have the children, right, but having children with issues, which is going to up the population of the people with issues. So now you got to take care of the old people that can no longer, but now you also got to take care more of the regular people that would have been regular had you not had them at 40. Y'all see what I'm saying? I mean, I know it's kind of it's a very, very like convoluted or long explanation, but put a 1 in the chat if I'm making sense. Come on, Robert Platinum. Come on, bro. Robert Platinum. Wow, bro. I Shout out to Creed. There's still many healthy birth geriatric pregnancies. Oh yeah, Creed. So that's what I'm saying. So Creed, you're correct, but at the same time, there's still going to statistically be far more unhealthy ones too. So when we know that, yeah, you're still going to have the majority of those births will be still healthy, you know what I'm saying? But still at the same time, a larger percentage of those births, had they not been had geriatrically, are also not going to be healthy. You feel me? So, yeah. Genetic and chromosomal genetic and chromosomal abnormalities. That's going to be your Down syndrome and autism. Okay.
Is like when you reach the age of 35, if you have other chronic medical conditions. But even most women who are generally healthy still have, after the age of 35, higher chances of gestational diabetes, higher chances of high blood pressure, hypertension. There's an increased risk of chromosomal abnormalities. And then there's also a greater likelihood of cesarean sections or preterm labor, or just
So another thing too, right? Should I go ahead just a little bit? What's preeclampsia? One of the ladies in the chat tell me. I don't know what preeclampsia is. I don't know. Can one of the ladies tell me what preeclampsia is? I don't know. But so gestational diabetes, that's not such a big thing. That's something that just happens, as a woman gets pregnant. But the postpartum hemorrhage, that could be possibly fatal. My understanding, preeclampsia may also be too. High blood pressure. Okay, appreciate you. So yeah, so things like that, and like she said, right? So ladies can no longer complain about the health risk in childbirth and how deadly childbirth is if you're purposely now deciding to have your child over 35. Sorry, ladies, you can't have both ways. You can't be out here talking about, how you could have died and all this stuff about labor and all this other shit. Preeclampsia, a serious pregnancy complication, can lead to a range of issues, including premature birth, damage to the liver, kidneys. Wow, severe cases, seizure, and stroke. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I knew it was a serious thing because I heard that's one of the things I heard women talk about. But shout out to Here for the T for the definition. Appreciate you. So again, women are purposely choosing to do it this way, right? You guys are purposely choosing to have the kids in the unsafest condition, right? All right. You're purposely choosing to have the child when it's going to be the highest risk to you and the child.
Or preterm labor, or just in general kind of complications with the birth itself. So all the kinds of things that I would say get categorized as advanced maternal age. I personally hate that term. I hope we can recoin that term, but all things we should talk to people about after the age of 35.
Yeah, wow. I mean, it's just one of those things where you're like, oh, 35 is not that old. It's something to use those terms. Geriatric pregnancy, another one. Dr. Patel, is there anything older women, even asking that question, maybe not even older, just 35 plus, can do to mitigate those risks?
Yeah, and this is, by the way, great activities to also engage in at any age if you're thinking about having a baby. And this includes just maintaining a healthy weight. We've talked about just the role that weight can play with fertility in general, but it can definitely become harder after a certain age. And then I think also preconception counseling. I can't tell you, Savannah, how many women, including myself, kind of woke up and said, what should be easy to get pregnant, right? And so we should just talk about what the chances are, statistics, what your likelihood are, and access. And I would advocate for this, like if any sort of fertility labs or testing is right for you. Doesn't have to be at the age of 35. Just be if you've been trying and haven't been successful after 6 months.
So, Dr. Patel, for those women who are in their late 30s, early 40s, they are interested in being mothers, but they're not quite at that point in their life yet. I mean, just real quick, what's the top advice you'd give them to stay on top of their fertility health?
Yeah, I do think that all the things we just mentioned, but then I really do think having a discussion about options that would be available to you. Everything is available, sometimes at a cost, sometimes insurance can cover it. But I think that it's just having that conversation about preconception counseling. It doesn't matter what stage of life you're in. It's a good conversation to start, usually with your gynecologist, but most primary care physicians can have that conversation.
And there's that. So you've had it over the last 35 years, the number of women 35 to 40, right? Or was it 40 plus? Let me go back and see. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. So no, I'm sorry. So 40 from 1990 to 2023, it increased 127% from 40 to 44. And then 35 to 39 went up 71%. So you're having an exponential boom of pregnancies over, you know what I mean, women that most of them are not going to be in the tip top of shape. America is the fattest country on the planet. Okay. So we already know maintaining your weight, highly unlikely. Furthermore, you're working, right? At 40, you should be in some type of career or whatnot, what have you. But for women, that's still, I think, leveling out somewhere around on average 50, 60,000 okay or a year. Now, you got to think when you have your child at 40, that's 18 years for sure that you got to keep a job and you need to keep increasing your income. Remember when I told y'all, every group of women except for Black women starts declining on money at 50. Make less money. They start making less money at 50. At 50, they have like on average, I think like $1,000 decrease in their earnings and so on and so forth. Hey, more likely than not, they're married, they're settled in, they got a 401k or some type of investment, some stock portfolio, so on and so forth. So they're not killing themselves to motherfucking work. But now you're a first time mother at fucking 40. Okay? You said What's up with my mic? Hold on, let me see. Check. Let me see. Oh yeah. Oh my bad. Appreciate you, bro. Check. It should be better now. Check. Can you hear me? Put a one in the chat if the my sound should be better now. It's this damn software, sound software I got on here the way it automatically switch it. I'm a fucking take that shit off. All right, cool. So just look at how much this shit changes, man. I'm telling y'all, bro. I keep telling y'all, bro. When the world, by the time the world looks up and everybody starts to realize the shit we was talking about when this is just women in general, because this right here isn't a racial thing. This is all women that are having children at a later age now, much later age, for the sake of, hey, I'm strong, I'm independent, I'm high earning, I'm this, I'm that, all this title bullshit, right? Bro, the world is getting the world and society is getting scarier and scarier. The more we come to learn just how motherfucking just toxic that feminism has been, bro. Women don't want to get married no more. They fucking hate men. They don't want to have kids. Oh, so that's another thing I guess I'm gonna work into here, right? The no kids shit. Oh my God. The no kids, what's the name? Man, listen. If they could have put money on bitches' head, yeah, it's not kind of here for the tea. We're definitely going backwards. We're going backwards because and it's an advancement. So again, we go get a little 10-4 Tuesdays. What did I tell y'all? I told y'all, man, listen, I'm telling y'all, 20 years from now, well, not 20 years from now, but definitely 20 years from now, the sex bots are going to be popping. All right, you hear me? The sex bots are going to be popping in 20 years. Hey, flying off the shelves. Women don't like men. They hate men. They're talking about, purposely not having kids and all this other shit. We can control the world. Baby, you can't. Okay? I remember they talked about the y'all remember the name of the damn lamb or whatever the fucking lamb was that they made in the artificial womb. Does anybody remember the name of the lamb? Well, about no kid. Well, not everybody's not gonna have no kids, but if you don't have no kids, oh no, I bet. Hold, let me show you. I got you. Hold on. Oh no. Shut up. What the fuck is going on? Hold on. That's all. Hold on. Let me log in. What she mean, motherfucker? What? This shit weird. Hold on. All right, cool. The no kid shit was just right here. 44 with no kids. 41 with no kids. It's a lion. Get him out of here. Get out of here.
Look at this figure. Hold up. I know you don't know too much about it, but like, let me tell you something. I don't.
Little Coyle Ray Sr. What the hell going on here, little no booty? Look here. Look at this little
Let
Junior
me tell you
Baker
something.
Whopper
I don't
burger
even know how
with
to talk to kids. Like,
no
I'm telling you
cheese.
about it, but like, let me tell you.
Now listen, man. Shout out to the little booties, man. Little booties matter, man. Baby, this is Lord Jesus. This is nothing but hamstrings and back. Lord Jesus. She all right though. You know what I mean? Little slim thing. I'll definitely run her down through there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, me too, Albert. See, I'm definitely gonna help her out. I'm definitely gonna help her with some of that, in rear inflation that she needs help with, brother. I'm gonna help her out. Definitely gonna help her out, brother. But she definitely, she ain't got no rear end coverage, brother.
Tell you something. I don't even know how to talk to kids. Like, I'm telling you about a.
How many kids?
I'm almost 43. I'm child free. This was done intentionally. And I don't think that I should ever be shamed for my choice not to have a child. I'm an aunt, and I would be pulled limb from limb for those kids, but I still don't want any. I feel like we've been conditioned by society to feel like as women, it's like our life's purpose because we were gifted by God.
Now, see, listen. Here we go. Here's one of these feminists. And well, it's definitely a feminist undertone, right? Because she's now about to talk about how we've been conditioned in different. So let me give the context, right? Let me put it in proper context. Now, if a woman doesn't want to have kids, by all means, she doesn't have to have children. Okay, right? Just like if a man doesn't want to have kids, he doesn't have to have them. But the sermon she's about to give is feminist, all right? This is our sole purpose. Well, yeah, all human beings are sole purpose again. Two things: survive and procreate. Copy yourself. It's pretty much all of us. Even fucking microorganisms do the same thing. Survive and multiply. That's pretty much it. Any living being, that is your default purpose in living. Live and create another copy of you while you're living. That's not my opinion. That's not fucking, anything super philosophical. That's just pure science. And I think people forget that. Now, of course, we're complex creatures, you know what I'm saying, with your own thought processes, your own philosophies and different things. You have the right to have that. But to eliminate it past that that's just opinionated. That's literally the only reason you're really here. You absolutely have been conditioned to have replace the population. Otherwise, you're taking more out of society you can offer, which ain't how this shit works. Exactly. So if you don't replace it, again, shout out to Compassionate and Callous. So even from that point, society builds societal norms and suggests to you to reinforce your biological imperative. So hey, if you don't have no kids, well, for one, we all gonna die. If every woman decides not to have kids, now that's a problem. If too many women decide not to have kids, that's a problem. But again, women are literally celebrating this shit and saying, okay, well, it's not that we're not having kids, we're gonna have kids much, much later. Which again is still a problem. Not as much of a problem as not having kids at all, but extremely, problematic because of the repercussions that's gonna come from it. Now, this chick right here, again, bro, listen, this nigga, listen. Now, this is another thing we're gonna start seeing too. Being that she looks like she got shit together, you know what I'm saying? She got the that like expensive hair unit in there. I don't know what type of car this is, but that's some premium leather, you feel me? With the big panoramic sunroof. So, sometimes she the rich auntie. So if she wanted to have a kid at 40, she can afford it. She can do it. She looked to be pretty much in shape. You know what I'm saying? She ain't no big girl. She got a couple rolls and folds right there, but that's titty meat. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's extended titty meat. She got skinny arms. She ain't got no good macaroni cheese and tater salad arms. You know what I'm saying? She got the skinny neck. But let's see.
To have children. And I've always known at a very young age that was not something that I wanted to participate in. So as your big sister or aunt, I want to tell you young ladies, if you...
Damn, baby, you look like you hooped somewhere. She got like an athletic frame. That's a wide shoulder girdle, baby. You definitely could have made you some good motherfucking power forwards and centers or damn, wide receivers or something. You see, you fucking up. Tiffany Nate, baby, you fucking up, baby. You robbing the world of these good genetics.
decide not to have kids, that is okay, my love. And if you do want to have kids, baby, listen to me. It should be a well thought out, planned thing, and you should absolutely take into consideration the person that you are having that kid or those children with. That this is not something that God intended for you to do alone, and that's happening way too much in our society. I love you, whatever.
Y'all going too far. Come on, bro. That's all woman, brother. Come on now, stop it. Y'all know the rules. She not violating the rules. Them titties don't touch. She doing too much. Them titties is touching, brother. That's perfect cleavage right there. Look like natural titties too. Come on now, let's not go too far, fella. This all woman right here, brother. She just athletic. It's all woman. Ain't none of that but some good. Well, I ain't gonna say good, but definitely some pussy, brother. Let's not. Come on now. Let's not go too far.
You decide.
So yeah, they playing the what's the name, right? Fuck them kids. So the shit hit on Twitter, bro. And bro, the moms were hot. They was mad, nigga.
Fuck them kids. Fuck the kids? Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck them kids, man. See, a lot of y'all just come on, man. See y'all. Now again, this too. Listen, don't think we don't know what the fuck y'all doing. All right. I say at least for this little trend that happened. I say a good 30% of y'all gonna be pregnant by next year. Y'all ain't fooling nobody. This was mostly to, the celebrity niggas and, entertainers and shit. So they ain't got to motherfucking trade baby mamas like, you know what I mean? Like motherfucking Pokemon cards no more. This is for y'all to put it out there, let it know, hey. And again, y'all ain't slick either. All right? 21, 31, 41 with no kids. That don't mean you ain't never been pregnant, bitch. That just means you ain't never had a baby. You ain't fooling nobody. We know y'all in here knocking them babies up out of there with like a motherfucking Louisville slugger. Some of y'all some walking graveyards around this motherfucker. Here for the Tito ain't lying. Just because you ain't got no kids, bitch, don't mean ain't never been one up in there. I told y'all, there's a lot of bitches out here with a motherfucking fast pass to motherfucking Planned Parenthood. They got to clear motherfucking membership. Creed, well, baby, it ain't everyone, but it's a lot of ones. It's a lot of ones. Shout out to Love the Barber. Hey, congratulations, brother. Congratulations, man. Hey, man, wish y'all the best. But please don't think we motherfucking foolish out here, baby. That just means you ain't never brought one into the world. Don't mean one never been inside you in the first place. This is definitely advertisement too at the same time, though, bro. Come on.
The women with kids are mad. Not all the women, but the women who regret their kids and their decisions.
Shout out to her, man. I like her. Dana, yeah, I think it's like Dana D, right? Yeah, that's what it is. Dana D. Dana D be funny as shit. Dana D keeps it real for the most part. She always keeps it on both sides, no matter. But she about to explain to y'all what's going on.
They're mad. They mad at the childless women who are participating in the Jacquees challenge where they bragging about having no kids. Why exactly, if you proud and happy to have your kids, would you be upset because women are bragging about not having kids? That doesn't make sense. But I'm going to ask you this. Why is it that as soon as you hear that a woman ain't got no kids, you jump immediately to she got some type of health condition where she can't have kids, or that she had a bunch of asmortions? Why can't it just be she protects her body better than you did? I know that's scary. I know.
Now, Dana, we gotta be honest now, baby. With the number of smortions, as y'all say, right? On TikTok language, I guess. Come on, Dana. No. These little, hey, listen. It's a lot more of this going on.
Don't try to make me take all that dick at one time.
Slow and easy.
He said, don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you. I would not rush all this dick up in you at one time. I'm going to take it easy on you. She said, okay, I think I can take it. So he laid down. The nigga rushed all that dick up in her.
It's a lot of dick getting ran up in, more than not, okay? All right? It's a lot of motherfucking walls getting skeeted down, okay? All over town. All right? All right? Then the other way around, baby, I'm telling you. And the further you get away from that 21 to like, I don't know, Dana. And again, the biggest thing is, Dana, women know women. Women are talking about and pretty much snitching on a lot of the shit they know that you never knew of. Right? You know, y'all have these damn near death packs where y'all don't tell a soul but your homegirl. And she still ain't telling, because she ain't gonna tell you that it's her homegirl, but she's saying, these bitches be having these babies, they just getting them up out of there. Come on now, Dana.
No, that's a hard pill to swallow, that you was just out here letting dudes just dump off in you, right? You just be letting them do whatever they want to. But then there's women who won't. There's women who won't. I know, Pookeisha. There's girls who won't sleep around with a bunch of different men. And then there's girls who use protection. They get on birth control. They do whatever they have to do to make sure Pookie don't get them pregnant. You, on the other hand, played stupid games and won stupid prizes, right?
Now, again, Dana, what fucks you up is well over half of, when you talking about Pookeisha. So now we talking about black women. Well over half of black women got kids. Okay. I think they say it's down from 62 to 57% now. Still over half by a lot, right? Well, not a lot, but substantially enough, right? So 57% of, it's pretty much still 6 out of 10. Most of these women have kids. I mean, 40%. And I bet you if we were to correlate and try to look at the numbers of women that's had abortions that have had multiple abortions or had one abortion and never had a child after, it'll be probably, right in line with, the 40% that don't got kids. Just saying.
But now you're mad. Whose fault is that? Did you trusted your body and put it in the hands of some loser man, and now you stuck with a baby that you don't want? That sounds like a personal problem. But you got to stop jumping into saying that everybody going and getting all these abortions, or that they don't have the physical ability to have kids. You know how disrespectful that is to women who really can't have kids? It's very disrespectful. It's very disrespectful, right?
Shout out to my man Magnum Opus again for another 5. Appreciate you, brother. I keep saying the best thing any man can do to help women is stand aside and let them figure it out. Women don't want their problems fixed. Most times, brother, you're correct. Most women don't want a problem to be fixed. They just want to, complain and be angry and mad, all this other shit for the most part, for real. Shout out to Prince of Revolver Magnum Opus again for another 5. Greatly appreciate you, brother. They got that vacuum clinic on speed dial, just like when they claim to be single or celibate, but still getting piped down. Hey, man, shout out to all the motherfucking the secret plumbers out here, man. Not secret lovers, secret plumbers. Exactly. Oh, you celibate? Okay. Get that what you doing text or that where you at text. What you mean? What you talking about? I just, I ain't doing nothing. I mean, you can come over here and we just no problem. Say less, baby. Dick delivery. Dick delivery, baby. All right, you hear me? Listen, I ain't gonna say. Hey, I'm not gonna tell a soul, baby. Shout out to all the women that keep it motherfucking discreet, nigga. I keep it discreet and out the streets, baby. I've been this. It ain't to be told. You feel me? You hear me? Listen, I ain't gonna say 100% of the time, but I would definitely say, if I had to guess, a woman that say she's celibate, bro, it's for somebody somewhere. Maya claimed she been celibate now. I think she stayed for either was it 5 years or 10 years? I don't know, bro. Somebody at least Maya got to have a eater, okay? Something. Ain't no way. No motherfucking way. Maya ain't got a nigga somewhere doing something to that little puss. You hear me? Ain't no way, Maya. I don't know. No, baby. I can see it in you. And if you take applications.
And it's just so sad that y'all are grown women who can't even control your own body. And it's funny because 1 minute is your body, your choice. And then when you don't want to take responsibility for laying up with losers and getting pregnant, then all of a sudden he trapped you and you had no control over what was going on. And, you go into child mode where you just this helpless little child and somebody took advantage of you and you had no say-so in the process. Right? Because you couldn't have been on no birth control or anything. And you can save the I was on birth control, condom busted. That ain't usually what happened with y'all. Stop it. Right? Stop.
Shout out to her, man. Again, like I said, she usually down the middle, bro. She held on these holes, man. Listen, bro. Again, until people start talking about women's irresponsibility when it comes to sex, bro, ain't shit gonna change. Baby, if you don't want to get pregnant, you're not gonna get pregnant. We talked about this where I think a woman has a not even a fucking 96-hour window to get pregnant for the most part, right? It's a very, very small window that you can get pregnant per month. Okay? They got apps. They got all kinds of trackers. You got female condoms. You got, I don't know how many types of birth control, patches, shots, pills, IUDs, all kinds of shit. So no, baby, if you get pregnant, it's on purpose. I don't want to hear it. If a woman gets pregnant, it is on purpose. 1,000%. Shout out to Curtis Hancock for the 5. Greatly appreciate your brother. They may have been careful with their womb, but they still usually have not secured a stable relationship, still in the streets. Well, and I'm telling you, man, that's what I'm saying. I agree with that too. Nah, love the barber. That's why I said most women, most women, and that's why I say that's the deadlier part, or not the deadlier part, but the more unfortunate part. The older she gets and she hadn't had that kid, now she's gonna start getting desperate, and she's gonna, she's more than likely to pick the wrong motherfucker to have a kid by than she would if she was earlier. That biological clock shit is real for women.
Stop the games. But again, stop jumping left field just because you hear a woman ain't got no kids, all right? And if you love your kids so much, love your kids and stop being mad because women bragging about not having kids. Because guess what? One thing I'm going to do, I'm going to brag about not having no kids because I don't want them. And I'm going to brag about it. And there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Let's talk being 38 and not having kids. By the way.
And I say keep celebrating that you don't have kids in your 20s and 30s, living your best life, having your money to yourself, being able to do what you want to do in life, being able to come home to the house that you want to come home to. I say keep celebrating it. And the more and more people get mad that have kids that you're celebrating that you.
One thing I've noticed about not having kids in your 30s is that.
Okay. So a lot of y'all just fronting out here. So listen, y'all, hold on. All y'all doing this damn challenge got kids. What the hell going on? Y'all just wanted to dance some motherfucking jacquees.
I saw a post on here saying that I be seeing y'all saying no kids, but y'all don't be saying no job, no money, no career, no future. I added that last part. But now y'all be bragging about not having kids, and I don't see you doing anything productive. I don't know you for anything. You don't have a name for yourself anywhere. And to keep it real, even when I didn't have kids, I was never the type to brag about not having kids. And I thought it was kind of weird because it's like, why are you bragging about not reproducing, going along with nature? It's natural to have kids. I don't know. I don't think that's something to brag about. Maybe when you're maybe in your early 20s, and definitely when you're a teen. Okay, maybe it's something to brag about to somebody that's young-minded and don't have responsibilities. Of course, it's something to brag about when you ain't got nothing to live for, when you don't have a purpose in life. I mean, okay, maybe I do get it. Maybe I do understand why you guys brag about not having kids. It's because you don't have anything that's worth having kids for. You don't live a life that a kid would even enjoy, honestly. Y'all be talking about freedom this, freedom that. Freedom to do what? Party, drink, smoke, have meaningless connections with folks, and don't even pass time correctly. And I'm gonna be real, the only person that you offending, the only type of parent that you're offended are parents that weren't meant to be parents, or parents.
Well, little baby, all that shit don't matter if it turns out you by yourself. All right. Yeah. Right. Same sentiments, brother. I'm like you picking up a lot of sass. Okay, with y'all sassiness, baby. It's a lot of what's the name. Listen, little baby, if it's just you, and I think that's what's being missed in this whole situation, and they won't say this when they saying whatever with no kids, they're talking about single moms. That's the motherfucking, unspoken fucking. That's what's actually being said here.
Who didn't want to be parents. The ones that are just minding their business and tending to their kids and handling we don't care about you not having kids. We've had a life without kids before. It's over with.
So let's see what she got going on. Let's look into her. Oh damn, you just hold on, baby. Ain't no man in sight. Come on, little baby. Come on, nah. See, and her thing is, I guess, wearing the bonnet, right? Yeah, baby, you ain't got a man. Come on, what's going on here? Not a man nowhere. Come on, little baby, and you in the long back. I want to get in another relationship. This was the last one had me looking like, nah, baby. Again, no, man. See, you can't be the messenger of this message because you out here getting pregnant and you, come on, nah. What's going on here?
So we brag about not having kids again?
Hit me with your fact.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm glad I didn't do that.
So we brag about not having kids.
Okay, so yeah, it started over because of the thing. But y'all get it, man. You feel me? Yeah, listen. Not having kids is not a flex, and that's from a childish person. It's exhausting. If anything, when people inquire why you don't, well, I mean, you would much rather. Listen, I love my kids to death, man. You know, kill and die for them in that order, as I always say. I would never go back to not having kids after I've had them. I know for a fact it's made me a better person. It's made me a better man. It's made me plan a lot better. It's made me set up my future a lot better. It just made me better overall because, like I said, it's not just I'm not just living for me. I'm living for my kids. I'm living for my lineage and hopefully my legacy. You feel me? So and I think that's something that's built in the cake of the biological imperative as to where now you have to be better, you have to make better decisions, and you have to be a better adult and be better at adulting because it's not just you anymore. You feel me? Like we say all the time, right? Men can we're the fucking masters of being minimalists, right? Can't be a minimalist for real when you get kids. You feel me? Now you still can be, but you know, I'm not finna have the motherfucking, you're not finna see the Louvre or a motherfucking museum when you come through my house. Whole bunch of art paintings and you know, flower decorations and all this shit. No, still not that happening. But at the very least now I gotta have a house versus a fucking apartment, you know, over the fucking, you know, over the lake for the hoes. You feel me? Which, you know, the house is the better investment because I can actually um pull equity from that as equity bills and leave something to my children. It helps me with my you know, my overall net worth, all these different things. Owning property, you know, having something of value. Okay. Um when it comes to the stuff that I'm doing, again, it's for my kids. I'm not out here. My first move isn't to do some shit that's gonna get me attention, right? Just for the sake of getting the fucking attention. All that type shit. Well, see, all the childless people, man. I know, man. I know. There used to be something that I heard earlier on. Not so much now because I mean, I don't go to many family gatherings and stuff like that. But I always remember when I was a kid, they would ask, they would ask the ladies that didn't have kids, when you gonna have some kids? When you gonna have maybe some grandbabies and all this other things, right? You feel me? Niggas act like we was playing. 80% of us. Well, this is what I'm saying. DC Slim, I would say this, right? Even if you weren't planned and you were had within a marriage or at least a stable relationship, brother, it's not the same. You feel me? So my mom actually planned to have me, but my little sister didn't. My planned my baby sister, and then my baby brother, he wasn't playing. So are all kids playing? No, I don't think all kids are ever playing for the most part. But what I think happens is when you are in a stable relationship, you know what I'm saying, marriage or whatever, it's a whole lot easier to adjust even if the baby wasn't playing. Compassionate cows, what's up, brother? What's going on with you?
What's good, bro?
I can't
My
complain, man.
background ain't too loud, is it?
Nah, but you still got whatever, you always get that little hiss thing, but it's cool. It's manageable. Go ahead.
No, it was good, good broadcast. Yeah, the the lack of a sense of duty the women have as far as, you know, replacing the population, as I said in the comments, is astounding, and it's kind of, I really I mean, it's gonna get to a point where it's unacceptable. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, because it's not really. They can't make an argument where they is. I mean, as individual women, they all obviously have the right to choose whether or not they want to reproduce. But at the macro or at the in aggregate, it can't be an overall sentiment that to each and every individual woman they can maybe not replace themselves as far as population. I mean, that's just not sustainable. And
But that's
that
what I
means
was
the
saying.
species is going out of it. We're going out of it. If the female of any species makes these type of declarations, you're gonna be extinct. I
Yeah,
mean,
but that's what I was saying, and that's what I don't think women, because some women were saying this as like we have the power to, whatever, the 4B movement. And when I saw this originally, I want to say like 4 days ago, and some white woman was promoting it, saying yes, women have the power to control whether humans get here, and we don't have to deal with men if we don't want to deal with men. We control
right?
the human population and all this shit. And I'm like, bitch, you just don't know who you fucking with. Look,
Yeah,
man, I told y'all these artificial wombs had a purpose from the beginning. If women really pull it this way, all they're gonna do is get the motherfucking artificial wombs cracking, bro. It's all
absolutely.
gonna
I mean,
happen.
let's keep it one. I mean, honestly, there's a women are the gatekeepers to reproduction. That's a biological fact. But men control the environment. So yeah, it sound good that you make them type of threats against the society, because that's essentially what it is. You threatening the society. You holding the society hostage to your demands, or you're not gonna replace people. And that's cool. You can do that, but men control the environment. So sort of environment, that type of language would produce. I don't think women want to see,
Yeah. That
honestly.
but you know what though? But you know what? I think that's, I like to be real careful when I say this, but women haven't experienced like the barbarity of men in so long
No.
that, you feel me? And again, I'm not encouraging it or saying it, but especially women here, like, you no
Mhm.
matter what they say, for like you are like the safest anywhere on the planet, like here. It's
You're
crazy.
the
Like,
They're the safest humans in human
yeah,
history.
yeah. So when you like you said, so when it gets to the point of where, and then too, I think what's gonna happen is it's gonna be they're gonna want to try to get back in the system, but they're gonna get themselves locked out, because it's gonna
Mhm.
be more efficient and more controllable with artificial wombs, CRISPR, and
Yeah.
all, what I'm saying, gene therapy, and selective gene, fucking all
See,
this shit.
ironically, I think they could see some women. Ultimately, I think they'll be the one. Women will push back against artificial ones because they'll see those tea leaves that you're talking
Yeah, it'll be
about.
too late though. But I think
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think it'll be too late. I think women are gonna try to call the bluff, and bluff, and men are gonna call it, and then it's gonna be far too late. So now it's just like, okay, well, we really don't need you. So
yeah.
one of two things will happen.
You played
You
yourself.
Yeah, you can give us the eggs, and we'll pay you for the eggs, because
Yeah,
women, you gotta survive anyway. So you can just pay us for pay. You can give us the eggs, we pay for them, and so on and so forth. Pay you for the eggs, and we keep the fucking population going. Or, hey, we'll fucking generate eggs at this
you're
point. You
right.
feel me? So
Yeah, they gonna have to just say, yeah, for the women that don't reproduce, you gonna have to be a man essentially.
yeah,
Take this
exactly. That's
right.
what I'm saying. You
Yeah,
serve no purpose.
yeah,
And it's great. And people think we saying this is like some wild sci-fi, just out of the blue shit.
at all.
It's really not. Thank you. Motherfuckers
Yeah.
didn't even think we'd be talking about, like, humanoid robots, what I'm saying, in our lifetime, right?
Mhm.
But them shit's supposed to get released by the end of the year. So and like I said, you everything starts out general, and then you weaponize and you sexualize. So once you're at that point, I say 15, 20 years down the line, and hey, you able to put the this AI into it that perfectly knows everything you like, you know,
Mhm.
read your blood pressure, and all this shit, and it's just like, hey man, I don't think women understand
They
the
don't. Let me
box they
ask you
put
this:
themselves in.
Have you heard of the Mouse Utopia experiment? Right.
Which one?
It was I think it was out of Stanford. It was like back in the 70s. I think
I think
76.
I recall what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, when they put all the mice in the artificial environment and gave them unlimited food and water, and they ain't had to
Yeah.
do nothing. They experimented on them. But basically, long story short, one of the phases of that experiment was the population of mice started to refuse to reproduce.
Yep.
So we might just be to that point, like a mouse utopia experiment, where, because that's amazing when you really just think about it, that the women that we it's really starting to become a culture of when females don't want to be moms and don't want to have children.
Well, that's why, and
And that,
that's why I keep telling people about the gender war shit. And this is why I say men aren't getting the credit for men actually complaining, because men understand from a scientific, from a humanistic, from every angle, men understand, hey, no matter how much, you know what I'm saying, shit may be fucked up, we have to figure this out so we can live. You feel me? Be that in an actual relationship, interpersonal relationship that you have with a woman, and so on and so forth, and societally, right? Motherfuckers understand, hey, even though I can just take your shit, everybody can't take everybody's shit, because then it's just, you know what I mean, it's fucking anarchy and chaos, right? So we have to have order and discipline in order for things to be able to operate in a way with it where everybody can, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? So, like you said, we even look at this and see it. And this is why I say, man, I think for real, bro, people aren't even thinking about how fucking impactful the biological imperative is. That's why I say it a lot, because we don't think about it. You feel me? You live, and if you have a kid, you have a kid. If not, but you know, it's not something we think about. But now that women are pushing back and women are purposely manipulating the system, I think it's going to start to be seen, like you said, just how detrimental this shit is, because we already seen it over in China, right?
Yeah,
And I think
yeah,
what they, you know what I'm saying, out west, and we seeing what's happening.
yeah.
So if this
Population
wave,
decline
yeah,
is serious.
exactly. Yeah,
Like,
it's very serious. It's very,
not a
very serious.
at all. I mean, everything will change. Everything we've known as a society will change when your population declines. And they have been tracking this. They writing books about this. The governments of the world definitely understand. Low key, a lot of black folks don't even realize black people are below replacement.
Yeah.
We're not replacing ourselves. We're not having enough children. Like you said,
No,
only.
and like you said, when we tell them, that's how detrimental it was. So you got to think, bro. We are the only one that stayed from a percentage wise. Of course, we had more people increase right over time, but percentage wise, we've been stagnant for I think it's like 10 to 15 years. Where now
Yeah.
we've been leapfrogged by Hispanics, and Hispanics are you know what I'm saying, are multiplying, and that's what
They above replacement. Yeah, absolutely.
You feel me? So all these abortions, you know, however many abortions have been had, man, you know, and how.
And I want to say this, because people talk about, like, you played a few clips of the girl whining about. I mean, like, having kids is not outside of the morality or the sentimental value to it at the community scale or at the group scale. It's about human resources. Like, having children is not just like, you know, a cool, nice,
Yeah,
lovey
exactly.
thing to do. As a group of people, you have to reproduce your human resources, or you do not compete effectively. So it's not about, you know, you having freedom as an individual, you 30 and no kids. As at a collective level, you can't replace the troops, nigga. You can't defend the borders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, fuck
And
at
like I
all the
said,
rest.
not just the troops, like you said, it's the troops, it's the farmers, it's the people that make the food, it's the,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying,
yeah,
the workers,
yeah,
it's the
absolutely.
builders, it's all of that shit. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna mute you up, DC Slim. You got a lot of background, brother.
I'm in the trades. I'm a carpenter. And they talk about it constantly. We're below replacement as far as like new guys coming in to replace guys that's retiring. But that's connected to population. That's connected to the population decline that the United States is in. The whole country's below replace. We're not replacing the prior generations. So, and that has second, third, 15 order effects on everything in your life.
Can I add a caveat to that too? I think there was a study showing, like, they asked like kids in grade school what they wanted to be, and majority of them said influencers. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how old are you, in your 30s or 40s?
I'm in my 30s. Yeah.
Okay, so like, yeah, exactly. So like, let's say you're an older millennial. I'm kind of on the younger millennial side. Like, okay, 30 and 40-year-old people from millennials and Gen Xers. I would say definitely with Gen Xers, like their concept was like, especially coming out of the 80s and 90s, like get a skill, get a trade, right? But people see like I mean, you're, and another, I would say one thing, that the one big major factor is the fact that your generation and slightly mine, right? They were the last ones that have like kind of like dads in the house still. So like your dad is gonna tell you, okay, get a skill. Like these kids are just looking up to dudes like Kai Cenat and the streamers. So you're not gonna. This is another thing. That the irony about this is this also plays into why housing is so expensive, because we don't have a lot of roofers. We don't have a lot of welders. I mean, it's about supply and demand, and it kills me. Two big things what Fantastic was saying is about the whole thing of flexing, not having kids, is wild as Black people, and another thing is, like this whole debate of not getting trades. I looked it up. I looked up welding. Not I'm not gonna sound too long with it. I'm gonna say this: welding is a subdiscipline of engineering, and I looked it up, and it says it's a subdiscipline of, I believe it was structural engineering, and plumbing is a subdiscipline of mechanical engineering. We used to dominate those. Black people in the 80s, 90s, 70s, but it's just weird. People, you made a good point about children not just being there for having kids. It's also about human capital. So when you don't have the human capital to push certain laws, or you don't have the tax base to have, because you don't have that many workers amongst your own people to create more solid infrastructures in your neighborhood, then you can always look back to say, hey, you know, look back on them TikTok videos, right? People, and you know what kills me? People try to, and like I said, I don't want to sound too long-winded, but I'm on a little rant. What kills me when I hear people, especially when they go against like us, especially with Fantastic, when I say, oh, you guys are trying to make Keisha come back, or these women don't want to have kids or whatnot. Stop trying to force them or shame them and whatnot. But it's like people don't think moron. If you don't have kids, who's gonna put into the tax base? Who are you gonna be your nurses when you're old? Who are the people that are gonna take out your garbage? If you have a deficit of human capital in all areas of life, you're gonna be screwed over when you're an older person. You want there to be enough police officers that are young and capable, right?
Bro, listen. I'm a concrete carpenter. I'm a union carpenter in Chicago. Chicago requires that basically every building, new construction is built by union. We're the concrete guys, and we do bridges and highways and shit too. So to your point, not having enough of us actually make the city push back projects decades because they don't have the people to build them.
Whoa,
So
whoa.
like
Can
your
I can
road,
I can I interject on that real quick, fellas?
Let
Since
him
you
finish.
see,
Let him finish those real quick. I wanted to hear he's almost done.
my point, I was just basically piggybacking. Yes, it does have a structural effect on everyone's life, having a population decline or not having enough children replacing the current generation. And even if you don't give a fuck and you just on some, single for the rest of your life will be affected, my nigga. So it's not something that's trivial. We're not trying to beg the hoes to do anything. Really, we're trying to maintain the goddamn civilization. I mean, like, honestly. But go ahead, DC.
well, since you added the politics to that, now I would say cheap labor. You got to add that in there too. The way the economy is, blacks and whites. You really don't see on construction sites or owning plumbing companies. But far as like the kids and refilling the earth, I mean, I think it's based on the quality and the man or the woman today. So, y'all might get mad. I'm not in the manosphere or be taken up for just men or whatever. I just think the quality of the man and the quality of the woman is not worth bearing kids. They kind of teach you that you don't need them, like they are a liability, all of that kind of stuff. So I think all of that come into play. I don't think it's a shortage on people, because sex and fucking always gonna happen. You can have as many gay people on this planet as you want, long as you got the equal amount of straight people, the baby's gonna keep coming. We had this once before when few years, I can't remember the exact time where they were saying this, and then we had a giant ass baby boom because the economy got different. Now, once everybody money get right, the fucking gonna go back up. I guarantee you.
But I'm telling you,
By then it
women,
might be too late because you're talking about people that are in their 20s. I mean,
yeah,
they're gonna
demographics,
be,
yeah,
yeah.
demography is more complex than that, bro. And it is
Yeah.
100% fact that the United States, as a whole, not just black people, are below
Yes,
replacement.
well under reproductive rate. Hold on, give me a
Yeah,
second. I'm trying to find a table right now. So DC Slim, to your point, yeah, people always having sex, but it is underlying ideology that's being pushed where women are being told to, like the girl, the one I highlighted, that was the girl in the truck, right? To where you being a mother doesn't define you, right? It isn't your duty to have kids. You're much more than that. And, being a mother is secondary, right? So once you pass that down, and these women, and furthermore, like you said, that's another big thing about, they talk about this college. Bro, college is nothing but a fucking bed of socialists, feminists, just all these fucking subversive politics, bro, that are being pumped into the heads of these people. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but I think this was either 2020, it was either 2020 or 2019, to where those a whole bunch of Asian professors got caught and for espionage, and they found out they was getting like money sent to them and
yep,
shit.
yep. I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, and they were professors at prestigious universities, man. So
I heard about that. Where I live in New York,
yeah, y'all
Governor
had a
Hochul,
whole
she had
fucking
people on.
underground. Yeah, they had a whole underground police station
Yeah,
in fucking New York and shit, like a whole underground government.
yeah.
But nah, to the point of what you're saying, bro. Yeah, you're always gonna have the ebbs and flows, but the problem is there's been a steady decline for the reproductive rate. So that's not going to happen. What you're saying is not because of the money, right? Because even with the money going up and down and so on and so forth, because from 2008 would have been a steep decline, right? But from like 2010, 2011, we had a substantial rise, and then
Yeah,
the birth decline still never recovered. You feel what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
We've never
yeah.
But
America.
what about what okay, so I see what y'all trying to say, but I don't think that like that's a reality. Like people gonna be here. And I think they pumping more shit in our ears, making it look like it's a decline. And I think like, and I
But it
also
is a
had typed
decline,
this in the chat. This might be a black and white statistic. Cause everybody else is having a shitload of babies at a rapid rate.
Wait,
No,
hold
Would
on,
that's
you
not.
DC.
agree with
That's
that?
not true. It's only it's,
Hold on,
it's
DC.
only in developing countries. We're
Hold on.
below birth rate.
Let me ask him this,
Um,
DC. Do you
No,
feel?
that's what I mean. When I say black and white, I mean blacks and whites. We're not including Hispanics, Indians,
Let me ask
yeah.
you
any
this.
other group of
Let me
people,
ask,
right?
let me ask you this. Do you feel this way, or do you think this way? Do you actually look at the data, or you just feeling this? You feeling this out with your
No,
with your.
this is me paying attention to society because, like I said, when you look at data can be based on, like I said, black and white women. If you just look, you can see Hispanic people spitting babies out every 15 seconds.
No,
If
bro.
you look at
When they count us all together in America, the
Yeah.
75 million people, we're below replacement as a group. It's
yeah,
not a.
we're
And let me
below
show you this.
replacement
And let me
level.
show you this, brother, just real quick. Right.
so
So
that
here's
means that
And
it's a
listen, you
problem with
also have to
America then.
it's
Yeah.
not just America,
also got
it's
to
the
factor
world, it's the
in that.
globe, brother. It's the globe. So from 1960, right? And what would have been like 1963, we peaked at 5.3 per, you know what I'm saying, per family or per kid or whatever, 5.3.
That was per woman,
Yeah.
actually.
That's so now we're down to 2.3. That's more than a 50, that's more than 100% decline.
Right.
So what is the like? I'm just asking all y'all. What is the number one reason, the sole reason you think that is?
Oh, I'll tell you one big major reason
It's
just to even.
industrialization. And when a society industrializes and get richer, the women
Yeah.
start have a lot more flexibility to come up with these harebrained ass schemes, and then
And
they stop doing any
Yes.
duty. Men don't enforce it because they're too rich and fat and
Yeah, you
lazy.
can't. Yeah, you can't make the women do anything. So you give the women's rights, right? You give the women rights. The women start working jobs. The women start competing with men, from a sociological standpoint, from a financial standpoint, economical standpoint. So sociologically and economically, the women are in competition with the men. So at the same time, you're supposed to be able to, as a human being, develop romantic relationships and families
Yeah,
But
during your prime years, but
yeah,
instead you're just working as a woman.
exactly. So now you're working, and now the women are working with the men. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and against the men in so many
Competing.
different
Yeah,
ways. Yeah.
I was
So
gonna
that's
say
See, so
this.
you know
I
what
wanted
y'all
to say this.
don't want to hear? I
DC, I
tell you
wanted to say this
what you
one thing real quick because Turfling and Monkey used to talk about this. There's a correlation between the more educated society a women are, the more they prolong having children.
that's true.
There's literally
But
studies.
I would base that on, once again, politics. So I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I consider myself a Negro independent, right? I would blame this on the blue people. The blue people are the ones who promote homosexuality, single. It's you know, they push everything that you saying. To be honest, and like I said, I don't have a horse in that race. Everything that you saying with the crash of women and the male figure is based on the route that they was going. The person who was supposed to be black did not help the black culture. He helped a homosexual culture. Nothing
Oh no,
against gay people.
it's not.
But
It's
what
not just.
that does, that's like putting them up in the line. They kind of cheated. So we was third in line, right? Just understand what I'm saying. Feminism and homosexuality was at like 18. When you got a certain president in there, we went
No,
back to 7
so
and they
I,
skipped the
I can say
line.
it for you. So I don't know how long you've been watching me, DC Something. I talked about this ad nauseum and at length. Barack Obama betrayed black people, and I say this, I say this specifically and purposely. Barack Obama gave LGBT gay people, however you want to call it, alternative lifestyle people, what it took black people the 200 years to get that we always talk about. In
Yes,
8
sir.
years, they had all the rights that we fought for and died for and all these different things, so on and so forth, right? So you can say that. That is not a problem. You don't have to talk in code, just so you know, so you can speak freely. But
Okay, okay.
that part of it though, well, it's still too small of a percentage, right? So overall, once you look at the entire percentage of that group of people, it's 5%, right? That's man, woman, no matter the race. So
No,
that,
what I mean by that is, hold on, let me clarify. So I'm
yeah, go
not
ahead.
saying I'm saying that put the ball in motion. I'm saying what he did is the reason why you are here today.
No,
Because if it would be nice if you could check that number before he signed those papers.
no,
Because if
it's deep. It's deeper than that, bro. It goes way past Republicans and Democrats. The Republicans passed no fault divorce. I mean, it's not party, and it goes way past Obama. They started this whole neoliberal this experience. This what we're seeing now. They started this like in the 70s after.
oh no, I know that you're missing what I'm saying. What I'm trying to tell you is they needed him to actually sign the papers. It was already in the process. He signed the papers and
What's your,
made
what,
everything the ball start rolling. Once you saw the White House lit up in rainbow colors, it let you know who was new in power. I'm
bro?
not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying
I'm just trying to
that it
correct
kicked.
you. I want you to be correct because I think you missing. Yeah, I get your point about the LBGT movement and Obama's contribution to it. But prior to that, in the 60s, 1974 Civil Rights Bill and Title IX, which is what added gender to the Civil Rights Bill, got the ball rolling, and that was in, like I said, 74, this is a way bigger scheme than just one president or one party.
But
This,
I get what he's saying though, because he's saying that Obama was the gateway to a lot of the stuff that we see now. Like he let the floodgates open. Like yeah, it was trash,
Yes,
but
that's
he
what I
let
He's
it.
mean.
saying, so what he's saying is he made it mainstream and he made it okay. He made it publicly and societally acceptable. Excuse me, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
He made
see,
it
I'm
acceptable.
saying it couldn't be done with a white man because it would look harsh. So you needed a
Obama was the
black man
Trojan
to
horse.
actually pull it off and make it acceptable.
Yeah,
It's
Obama.
almost like it's like a DEI thing.
femin,
If you understand what I mean by that.
No,
feminism and
absolutely. Obama was the Trojan horse to a lot of this stuff. Yeah, I
feminism and the
agree.
sexual revolution in the 70s, what was kicked off was like with our first mainstream introduction to the LBGT community. This has been a long. This is not a movie. It's not real a quick scene to scene thing. This is a long process over decades and multiple generations to get us to a place where that we're here now. I mean, he didn't just
like what
inflation out of the blue. Like,
yeah, what Compassionate Catalyst talking about. So they started when the Industrial Revolution happened. Like I said, they introduced women into the workforce and also started the income tax and all these different things, right? So now you can so now you can bring taxes from not just the men anymore, but the Federal Reserve, right?
Shout out
So
to
even,
Rothschilds.
yeah, so even adding the Federal Reserve, you know, what the monster from Jekyll Island, right? Like you said, this started even way further before that. Like I say, I don't want to turn this into, you know, 10-4 Tuesday, but yeah, it's far deeper than that. But at the same time, DC Slim, we understand what you're saying. The new acceptance of the alternative lifestyle community, right? Especially with so much emphasis being put on T people, which make up less than 1% of the population. That's contrived. That's purposely there to confuse and blur the lines of what, you know, sexuality is, saying that, you know, sexuality is fluid when it's not. It's just, hey, you either this or you that, and all these different things, and making these gray areas that were never gray before. That does play a major part into it, because now what it does is the woman can play both sides, right? So when the woman gets mad at the men, she can go say, I'm dealing with women. But then when the women can't, which we know the women can't provide, can't protect, can't do the things that a man can do, now she comes back to the man, and, you know, so it gives a woman a forever, you know, safety net or parachute to jump out of, and not stick with the man and try to figure out and have healthy relationships. So I see.
I would say the man too. I would even, you got to add the man in that too, because I mean, even though we men, hey man, let me tell you something. We ain't getting the best news to want a woman, because we actually getting that same frequency where it tell us women ain't nothing. You know, Snoop had a song. You know what I'm saying? So we can't act like, you know, we not programmed too. That's why I say I gotta blame both sides. I don't think it's fair if I just do that.
Well, yeah, but let me say this before you go, Ezra. Let me say this. I don't think it's I don't think it's a blame thing, and this is the thing I don't think people understand and realize about the reason we're having these conversations. Men are having these conversations and sounding the alarm on a problem that needs to be fixed. Men understand that no matter what, for the purpose of what we're talking about here, the survival of human beings, men and women have to figure this shit out. We have to figure it out. We have to get to a point of where men can have good, trustworthy relationships and healthy relationships with women, and women can have good, trustworthy relationships with men. The problem is you have one side that's saying, no, we don't need you. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
And what side is that though? Fantastic. You saying that's the women?
Yes,
Here's the thing. No matter how, listen, I'm talking about, no matter how much the quote unquote red pill manosphere, whatever you say, men are not out here saying, the vast majority. Now you have like MGTOW monks or whatever the fuck is so on and so forth. Like, this is a very, very small niche group of men that are saying, oh, you don't need women at all. That's very, very small. I'll say like definitely less than 5%, probably more like 2 or less, right?
I wouldn't say. Hold up. Let's clear it up again. I wouldn't say men are saying don't need them because we men. We wouldn't use that same, you know, vernacular. What I'm saying is, we're in today's world. A man is saying a woman is just, you know, we can use them as we need them. They're not presented to us as women.
All right, so
Do that
let me
make sense?
interject with this. I want to say this. Just we got to preface the argument with this. Not an argument, but the narrative. Currently, right, there is only 12% of all the black men in America. Only 12% are classified as LGBTQ. Right? Do you know what that number is for the black woman?
Nah, I don't.
30%, bro. It's like 28 to 30%.
Yes, it's more than double. All right.
Okay.
People say I've heard 20 as low as 23, but I've heard as high as 28. Right. It's from since the 90s. If you want to bring up a Doggy Style, right? If you want to bring that album up, it's only increased maybe about 5% for men. So the concept is like, oh, men are becoming like, what's the word? Asexual or not wanting to deal with women. That's not really the case. What's more
But you got to remember, you know, it's 10 of them and to one of us. So be careful when you use percentages and numbers in that way. It is more of them than us. So that's going to be a little swayed.
not 10-1 at all, bro. It's not 10-1. No,
Okay, what's the ratio man to woman?
I think it's
Oh
more
no,
like
hell no. Yeah, it's like it's not even 1 point. It's not even point. It's like maybe 0.2 or something like that. Maybe
Okay,
not even
okay,
5. Yeah,
okay.
so that's another thing too. So that's why we say it. I'm glad we're having this conversation because a lot of people we've been told this a lot of the times. Now, in certain areas in certain cities, yeah, but overall, it is not that much of a disparity. I think black women may have 1 million more than us, possibly.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's a million.
yeah, I think it's 1 million more. But like you said, once you start breaking down the numbers, it's like, you know what I mean, it's nominal. You know what I'm saying? Over 40 some million people. You feel me?
I got you.
48 million. But let me get my man Miles in here. Miles, appreciate patience, brother. Go ahead. What you got for us?
How you doing, Mr. Fantastic? How you guys doing, panel?
Oh, man, just good, brother. What you got for us?
Well, fantastic. Remember the last time, I believe when I talked to you before about how the fact that they're having kids later on and how not only does it affect the birth rate, but it also affects to where since like the 2000s, the increase of kids that are born with mental disabilities and like autism has increased exponentially also since then. And on top of the fact that obesity and if you're also having kids later on, both of those two things, because we're the fattest country in America in the world,
Exactly. That's
both of
what I
those
said.
two,
Yeah.
both of those two things compounded leaves major implications for women in general, to where they're more likely to die. They're more likely to give malnourished children, to where they're not able to get the proper nutrients in the womb from them being so big and them having their heart to pump so much to
Lord.
have to feed them and that child. They're killing themselves in that process, to where that kid's not even be able to fully grow to its potential to where it should have been, because of the obesity and then the older age. Both of those things compounded are dire. They're dire.
Yeah, we can't afford to have a social environment. Like I said, right now, as citizens of the United States, we all men on this panel. If you within the age, I forget what's the draft age? How old you got to be to get drafted?
18.
18 to what? What's the oldest you can be?
I
Like
think
45?
35. Is it 35?
45?
Like 40 something.
No, yeah, it's 30 something.
Yeah,
I think it's
35.
35.
Right.
Yeah.
So though men within those age ranges, I think during the draft it's actually higher than the normal age limit in the. But anyway, men us on this panel, at least me, I'm 34, so I could be drafted without my consent. And the justification for that is because I'm a citizen in the United States, and by proxy, I benefit from the United States. So I have an obligation, a duty to defend it if necessary. That's what they would tell me, or I would be court-martialed, or I would go to jail. Period. Point blank. We can't have a society with the social, and we got a social. That's a social contract that we pretty much agree with. Whenever we draft it, we pretty much cooperate. The women aren't cooperating with their end of the. They tore up the social contract, and men are still kind of functioning on the old social contract. People do not want to see a society when men catch on that women said fuck this, because that's what they're saying with all this weird wacko ass theories and philosophies. They're tearing up and they're trying to forge a new social contract while you still play by the rules of the old one. You still get drafted and go die, but they don't have to have children. They don't have to contribute, and they get the benefit from the society you dying and building and maintaining.
Man, I
Bullshit.
strongly disagree with you on what you're saying, because it sounds extremely male chauvinistic and naive. No disrespect to you. Let me
No
explain what I'm saying. Okay, you only saying women. To me, I believe women are doing exactly what you're saying, but I think they are being persuaded to do that. So me just blaming all of them as a whole, I don't know if I could do that. Now, at the same time, I got to blame men too, because the comment that you're making, you got to remember, they ear hustling. So when they hear this, which I actually think all of this is a design, when they hear you say that and you put that on a large scale, then the fight begins. So in a way, they kind of just making us fight each other. I agree with what you're saying. I just think these people are being persuaded to act like goofies on TV, and we being lied to thinking that it's a large number of them when it's really not.
You
They
might be right.
they got a large stage on, like, look, no disrespect to FBA, and I ain't gonna go there. But what I'm gonna say is they seem gigantic, but they only small in certain places. The presentation, the fear, a lot of people play extremely giant. But I don't think what y'all saying, and when I hear men talk about this all the time, I don't
You
think
said
it's that big.
you say we overreacting essentially.
I would say you overreacting and you fell for the bait.
Well, I disagree, bro. This is in colleges. I'm a millennial, bro. I know women in real life. I got a fiance myself. Like
Well, colleges is where this shit is promoted first. That's the test run, and
that's my
then we'll run it through society.
It's just the incubator.
That's not true. That's not true. It's actually
Exactly. It's
programmed
just
on
another
TV.
incubator.
TV is first, and media is first.
I'm saying,
Yes.
and if that's the case, then it's pervasive, bro, and it's not just a subset of random women on the internet. If TikTok, it's thousands and hundreds of thousands of pieces of content. Fantastic plays it. These things are not. This is not a small fringe issue that only some women believe. This
I
is
think it's
not.
an individual. Just okay, you as a man, your wife, right? Watch this, and this is what us as a society are trained to do. My motto is mind your damn business, right? So you right here, if your wife or the person that you are with is not participating in that bullshit, you ain't even supposed to be tripping. By you, if you got a good woman and you still on somewhere talking about it, then that's
No,
even worse.
I think you
this
fell
is
for
where
the
you're
bait,
wrong in that.
I think you fell.
Hold on.
Be-
So hold on. So let me interject, bro. So DC Slim again. This is the thing where I think we get lost, or people don't understand and realize, right? So even if my situation is perfectly fine and great and okay, right? I can have the best wife, best life, best everything. As a man, if I see a problem that are affecting other men in mass, right? I have to address it, and especially me with the good situation, because now you can't tell me I'm some incel that's just mad and can't get women or whatever, because my situation kills the narrative. It's
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said my exact words were, don't be a man saying all of this stuff, because you're actually just promoting it. You are now the commercial. If you
He dropped out. I didn't move him. I don't know what he did.
Maybe
He
that was
must have hit
divine
something.
intervention.
Wi-Fi was a little iffy.
Bro,
Yeah,
I
he'll
think
come back. Yeah, I didn't do shit. So I mean, for real.
I was like, damn, Fantastic, that's kind of cold blooded.
that ideology,
Literally.
that ideology that women would agree with, bro. And
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I don't think I don't know if
Keep
he
your head
understands
down.
or he
Don't
realizes
cause
what
no
it is.
trouble.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
to each his own logic. This
Yeah,
is
no.
like that's actually the bait that's been
Exactly.
sold to everybody. This neoliberal basically means hyper individualistic. That if it ain't my house burning down, yeah, it's the neighbor's house, but it ain't mine, so I ain't got to really worry about it. But men, that's not a masculine point of view, like you said. Fantastic. We're compelled to see a problem. If our neighbor's house is burning, we run that play through our head and say, "Damn, if it catches more fire, it might catch my house on fire. So maybe I should help them out of even just selfishness."
And
But
I hate to be that person, but it just feel like the older generation, they still stuck on that happy wife, happy life kind of rhetoric. That's where it came across as like, oh, as long as my life is good, oh, it's no issue. But it's like, okay, but you're still around these people. Your wife or whoever you're dealing with, your significant other, got to deal with them. Your kids got to go to school with these same people that are indoctrinated or influenced by that kind of rhetoric. You just don't, things like this just don't come up from just instantly. It grows over time. You start off with this is, and I hate to say this, DC Slim, but that kind of rhetoric is why the color purple was such a cancer to the black community, because black men were thinking, oh, it's not bothering me. I'm serious, but I'm serious. It's like, oh, it's not affecting me. My wife don't watch it, so I'm good. And it's like, okay, now we down 40 years later, and you got black women that are like 21 talking about, black men were beating us and this, that, and the third, and they not even old enough to drink, and they quoting stuff from Color Purple, or they quote, and what's her name, Alice Walker, and all that other stuff. Because back in the day, the older black men were like, oh, well, it's not affecting me. These books, these feminist books, these anti-black male books, and these feminist black writers, they're not affecting me in my household. My wife don't listen to that. That's how it seeps in.
Hey, I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna say this because I don't know. It sounds like I might be the oldest one here. What you did is the reason why older people and young people don't get along. So I made a point. You, as a young person, went into rebellion mode automatically, thinking that I was trying to bully you or something, or change your way of thinking. What I'm saying to you is, hey, matter of fact, fantastic. You remember that video I sent you? All right. I sent you a video this morning to actually go with this. It's a game of chess and cons. Bro, you are being persuaded to think for somebody else. You are fighting somebody else's battle. So I'm going to ask you again. If you and your wife are happy at home, why are you worried about another man's life or his wife?
Because life starts outside of your doorsteps. That's why.
Now, heroes got the best funerals. It's not your job to be a hero. That is not what you are on this planet for. If you fix yours, everybody will pay attention. I put in the chat one time, each one teach one, but each one can't teach one if one don't know shit.
Nobody will pay attention.
So DC Slim, let me say this, right? So again, I don't you're saying be a hero, right? But I mean, you like they say
I'm
at
saying
the same
don't
time,
be a hero.
yeah, that's what I'm telling you. So don't be a hero, right? But you know they say all the time that all heroes don't wear capes, right? Or most heroes don't wear capes. So what
True.
it's telling you is there's a lot of heroes within things if we just, you know what I'm saying, recognize it, and it doesn't have to be Superman or Batman and so on and so forth. The problem with us specifically, black people, is that the hero has been removed, and that's the black father, that's the black fireman, that's the black business owner, that's the black policeman, that's the black doctor, that's the black lawyer, and those have been replaced with the rapper, like you said, Snoop Dogg, or today Lil Baby, and you know the all these other things that are negative, right? What we're saying, brother, is this, right? For far too long, black men was like, as long as mine is good, everything is good. But as long as mine is good and everything else falls down around me, and I'm not saying anything, and I can see it, now it just decays and it gets worse and worse and worse over time. What we're saying is we're to the point of where we can see it and we can actually speak about it. Now, giving credit to the older generation, you guys couldn't speak like we can now, right? But at the same time, the mentality you had is why we're in the condition that we're in. So I'm not just living my life
It's
for me.
really no different.
So DC, no, it's totally different. It's completely totally different, right? And we'll get to it. But
okay,
listen, hear me out. So my situation isn't just for me, especially as a father. I have sons. So no matter how perfect my situation is for me, my son's reality is not going to be mine. My
Well, no,
sons
that's
are
what
not.
I mean. You and your sons. I'm not saying
Yeah,
everybody else. Yeah.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So it's not just that though. It's not. It's my sons and his whole entire generation. So my son is out here competing, just like I, in my generation, in my time, I had to compete from the group of men I had to compete with, and I had the pool of women to pick from that I had to pick from. Right? It was a good pool of women, and everything's great and fine. Hey, everybody eats B. Everything's good. Things go how it's supposed to go. None's going to be perfect, but you're able to have a level of success. But once it gets to the point where it's so dysfunctional to where everybody's like, hey, man, this shit is fucked up. Like, this isn't working right. And what are we going to do to fix it? Or you can't just say, well, fuck it,
By
I'm
then
good.
it's too late. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. You can't just say, well, I'm good over here. Shit, y'all figure that shit out. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But now, so to Ezra's point, if the kids keep getting to the point where the little boys ain't got no dads, you end up in the situation I showed a couple days ago where you got niggas, little niggas, the YNs walking up on grown men and shooting them in front of the house.
Hey, look,
And
I
that
come
could have
from
been
an
avoided.
era.
When we have the attitude
Yeah.
of my shit is good, my shit is good, my shit is good. No, it's not just you. Like he said, once you step out that door, you got to be worried about the people that you have no contact to and how they're thinking and how they're raised and what their morality is and what, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what's going to affect you the most, unless you know what I mean, unless you build a fucking compound to where you never got to leave. And that's, that's rare.
Yeah, I want to say two things to that, and I'm glad he brought that up. I had this conversation with ARC. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, DC. So I had this conversation with Alan Roger Curry about, he's saying, oh, why are you guys obsessed with who black women dating this, the third, or who cares if they get with any kind of random or incompetent dude, or if they get with a pookie. And I said, I mentioned to him about a situation that happened in Philly at that time where a woman broke her, an older woman, she was like in her 70s, broke her wrist, like broke her whole arm, because she was robbed by a couple of young dudes. None of them were over 15. And I said, it gets to that point where, okay, that could have been avoided. Do you think, put it this way, do you think young boys that have dads in their lives would be doing stuff like that? You understand what I'm saying with in that concept?
Homeboy, let me tell you something.
Hold on,
What's
I'm
going
almost.
on today? I'm about to answer your question right now. What's going on today ain't shit. These youngins today, I would only give them stupid, but they
No,
ain't killing nothing or let dog, bro. I come from an era where your mother, your father, your aunt, your grandmother was on crack and heroin. You had no fucking chance. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Everybody is spoiled. You ain't had shit taken away from you yet. So what you can really do is just complain about this beautiful fucking world. Dog, I did time. I've coming from a place where everything been taken away. You niggas today, this is sweet. For people to be out here complaining at the point in 2025 talking about women, slavery, and anything else. You are crazy, dog.
no one
You
brought up
see what? No.
no one even brought.
I said that because everything that come up goes back to 1965. Dog, we are on YouTube, okay? Speaking our mind. Dog, life is great. Niggas making money. You can go get with any chick that you want. Hey, this is, I wouldn't call it the perfect world, but it's the greatest time to be living. Everybody's so unappreciative of shit because you have been actually taught to hate yourself. You look, everybody attention span ain't nothing but 2 minutes. That's why TikTok is the king. Cause nobody can think past 2 minutes. I send people videos that's 15 minutes. You know what them niggas tell me? Man, that shit too long. You know, stupid shit people say in the world today? Man, you going too deep into that. So I'm not surprised that y'all getting tricked. You're
Yeah,
not paying attention to the
but
details.
but
I'm
DC
sorry, bro.
Slim, brother, no, brother. Like, I mean, like, I don't know how long you been watching me, man.
Oh no, I ain't even gonna lie. I just started watching you in hand.
I
You
so
know what I'm saying?
and again, there's no. I appreciate it, but brother, everything you said, I didn't say it ad nauseum, bro.
Okay, I
I
got you.
got a whole thing where I've literally addressed this. And hey, put a one in the chat. I'm the one who told people a year ago about the attack on attention spans purposely. That's the reason why everything's under 30 seconds or 30 seconds or less. That's why even YouTube changed their thing to where they want you to vertical shit or whatever. You feel me? I
But you
talked
you
about
gotta
everything.
add that to what you saying about these women because at the same time you can be getting swindled too. That's what I said. If you look at that video I sent you, the art is for me to feed pieces to you because you're smarter and I'm dumber. The
Yeah,
whole time I'm swindling you.
yeah,
You
I
feel?
feel you, but this is what I'm saying, right? So I address all of those things, and like I said, I don't know where you came in on this. I even talked about the point of, like I said, the biological imperative and how it fits into the social economical aspect of it, the biological aspect of it, and all these different things, brother. I try to cover. I promise you, I make sure to cover everything, not just women ain't shit. Whenever I say whatever I say about women, I give explicit detail to. I'm one of the best at it, brother. Trust me,
Yeah,
believe me.
see, I never knew that, big homie. You know what I'm saying? I
No, it's
never
cool.
knew.
It's
That's
cool. It's
probably
cool.
why I
I
fuck with you, though. You know what I'm saying?
and I feel, and like I said, I appreciate it, brother. But that's what I'm saying. But brother, everything you saying, man, that's why I'm letting you rock. It's just I've said it. I promise you. If you go over my content, you'll see where I address a lot of these things that you're saying. I understand what you're saying. A lot of this shit is contrived, brother. That's why I said I don't know if you heard. I literally said this today. The gender war, the man woman thing. This is something that's purposely being pushed by some way higher. You know what I'm saying? Ephesians 6:12, evil, you know what I'm saying? Principalities and you know what I'm saying? Evil in high places. I understand that, brother. And I talk about it as much as I can, but I can't overshadow that point of it and you know what I mean? Versus getting the message, because a lot of times the main point of it is, hey, you need to look at this and see what's going on so you can adjust accordingly. The most important point for a man to do is to adapt, right? You need to adapt to a situation and point the thing out to you that's clear as day that you see, but you don't see a problem with it. I tell people this shit right here, DC Slim, and then I'm gonna get Aaron in here real quick. Before I got in the Navy, on the front of most aircraft, you see these little things that look like machine guns, right? Everybody thinks they're machine guns. They're not machine guns at all. They're not no type of weapons. It's called a pedostatic system. And what it does is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I coughed. I'm smoking that good shit over
Okay.
here. Go ahead, my bad.
So what I'm telling you is you can look at something all the time and think you know what it is, but that's not it. So that's what I'm basically in the process of doing, is just pointing out blatantly and like, hey, you see this and it looked like it's just this. Or like, you know, like Azrael was saying, so often they tell us, oh man, why are you worried about the holes and this and the other? Well, brother, I'm not worried about the holes. And I'm not trying to save the holes. I'm not trying to change the holes. I'm not trying to convert the holes. What I'm trying to do is tell you and show you what the hose is doing, and most importantly, understand that the whole level is too high. You got too many of them, right? So when the whole level is even, everything is cool and fine. But when you have too much of the whole level, and then the hoes are influencing the young girls to become hoes too, that fucks everything up. So
Hey,
that's
fantastic.
We got
You
a
ever
whole
heard of Carl
surplus.
Jung?
We got a whole surplus.
yeah,
Y'all ever heard of Carl Jung before?
yeah. Carl Young, yes.
Hey, look, greatest thing I ever heard from him is three kinds of people in this world: a person who will commit suicide, a person who will commit political suicide, meaning attaching himself to goofy shit just to survive, which will just kill him living, or he just roll with the world and don't complain because it is what it is.
Exactly.
Them the ones that make it through life. They don't be thinking about all of this other shit around them. Now I'm not telling y'all to just say fuck it. I'm just saying, and I'm saying only for black people, right? The energy that we use for shit is not gonna make us powerful. It's actually making us weaker because we thinking about the wrong shit.
All right, brother. For sure. Let me read the super chat, then we'll get Aaron in here. Shout out to my man Jimbo 70 Jr. Greatly appreciate you, brother. Here's a good book to read on y'all's subject, The Value of Others, Understanding the Economic Model of Relationships to Get and Keep More of What You Want in Sexual Marketplace. Orion Taraban. Thank you, Jimbo. Definitely take a look at that one. And we got my man Aaron in the building. Greatly appreciate you, Aaron. What you got for us, brother? Go right ahead.
Good evening, gentlemen. Fantastic. What's going on?
I can't complain.
So
So with
yeah, I can dig it, man. So the gentleman that was just speaking, I hope you don't mind. I have just a couple questions. How old are you?
I'm 50.
50. Okay, and where you from?
DC PG all day, every day.
Oh, PG County. All right. Yeah, I'm a former
Yeah.
Turk. Go Turks. All right. Cool.
Okay.
So I think, and this is my opinion, but I think it's catastrophically irresponsible to suggest that men that are happily married or happily betrothed or happily, engaged with a woman, be quiet and rest on their laurels, right? Because the problem is we don't have a nation as black people in America. A nation is a collection of communities. A community is a collection of families. The people, I think, that have kind of figured out how to make the scaffolding of a family should be the ones speaking the most and passing on information, instruction, knowledge, wisdom, advice, so that others can get on board with that, so we can actually start building communities. You mentioned a very special date. 1965, which was pivotal. But there was a community before that that was on its way to being a nation, and it was family based. So, I mean, if anything, I think people that have built a family need to speak out more, need to be heard more, especially if you have children. And Fantastic landed that plane. I was going to bring that up. I got two sons and a daughter, and I'm thinking about the future. What is the environment that those jokers are going to have to operate in? But he already made that point.
Well, their future is based on what you tell them. It ain't got nothing to do with no outside source. Once again, mind your business. Mind
None of that,
your business. Everybody else paying attention to society. I'll put it to you like this. Bill Cosby, when you watch the Cosby Show, I'm pretty sure Cliff and Claire, they wasn't preaching, they was teaching. Now they had to focus on their thing first in order to make it great. But that still didn't work. Nobody's still having that family. You know why? Because somebody persuaded you to go for the ignorant shit. And a part of the ignorant shit is you not minding your business. Somebody has taught you that you are a superhero as a black man. You perform better as one. No, it's group thinking. Group thinking meaning paying attention. If I can walk outside and I see enough black women with a man and a woman and a baby, I'll pay attention to that more. But I don't see that. So even if you walk up to me and try to explain it to me, it's not going to work because that's not what I want to do, and I'm not taught that. So focus on your home. Let the world it'll crash and burn all around you. You ain't got nothing
no,
to do with that. No disrespect to you, bro.
no. So I think you missed what I was saying. I'm concerned about the environment that my
You shouldn't
children
be
are going to.
concerned about the environment. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not your job.
So,
You are
so
not
wait.
on
So
this
wait.
planet to save the earth.
I'm not trying to save the earth. I'm trying to ensure that the environment my children operate in is conducive to their success.
The
Right?
environment your child work in is called insurance money, saving money for a better future. It ain't got nothing to do with another kid. You,
No, no,
you
no.
see,
That's
you
that.
don't. A lot of us
Yeah,
No,
don't
well,
want to
hold on.
face that fact.
Yeah,
saving money's a lousy strategy. First of all, that's a poor person strategy. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Wow.
No,
Okay,
I'm talking about in the realm of relationship and family development. Right? I'm talking about interpersonal relationship between man and woman.
bro, that's
That's
a
that. I'm
myth.
not. I'm a
That's a
myth.
myth that they've been telling us. They've been teaching us, and they only do this to us. We the only ones that walk around out here saying shit like that. That's not how the world functions. Nobody else functions that way. You
What do you
don't
mean?
now. If you said that we were in a specific group, if you said that, just for example, we was Muslims, then I'm going to have group thinking. But I'm not with a group. My group is my family. So I don't go save people. Just like the little dude, what happened in Texas. I don't know him, so I don't care about what happened to him or the white boy. I'm not going to use my energy. I'm not taught to do that. I see what
Have
you're
you ever?
trying to say. No disrespect to it, but I'm saying we need to look at something else because this plan ain't worked in 80, 90 years, brother.
Have you heard of the phrase "strength in numbers"?
Strange of numbers. Strength.
strength in numbers.
Yeah, I mean, strength only work in numbers in certain times. That's a broad statement, because you can do a lot by yourself. See,
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
like that's what I say. I'm not one of
There's
them people that's gonna just fall for like if you make and that's a traditional statement that I've been hearing for years, dog. I'm trying to tell you, man, it don't work like that. The world don't give a fuck about you. It's gonna be people here after you leave. So whatever you trying to save, you only need to save your family. That is your legacy. All of that. That's your aura. The next motherfucker ain't got nothing to do with you.
I think you have a very defeatist mindset
Never defeated. I'm actually winning now. I'm
I
the
think.
happiest
Well,
man in the world because I ain't
now,
bitter.
now, brother. Now you, we gotta have a back and forth, right?
My bad,
Let
my
me.
bad, my bad.
So I think you have a defeatist mindset. You say on the one hand, right, you would pay attention if there was a group mindset or a group effort or some sort of collective.
If
And
I
on the
was
other hand,
in a collective,
what'd you say?
if I was a part of a group, if I was a Christian, Muslim, FBA, ADOS, whatever, if I was in one of those organizations, then I had that mind state. I'm not with none of that, so I'm only worried about my familia. That's the only thing
Okay,
I can do.
that's how you choose to live your life.
Exactly.
I don't subscribe to any of that.
Okay. Every man control his own destiny. It's only room in the hole for one person.
Controlling one's own destiny.
Say, repeat that again.
It's about passing on knowledge and experience onto your legacy and the legacy of others. When we say it takes a village to raise a child, right?
That's another
There's
one of them
credence. You
myths.
got to pay some credence to that. You got to pay some credence to that.
I
The
don't
fact
agree
that
with
we
that.
have
I
brothers out
think
here in
there's
the
another
streets
one.
now, the fact that we have brothers out here in the streets now capping each other, and the women, the sexy red shit, is because the village no longer
Are you serious, brother?
raised.
Look, you look,
Yes.
no disrespect. You should be ashamed of yourself because you sound like you around my age. Bro, you had tip
No, I'm not.
drill, crack, heroin, and everything. Okay. So if
I'm not.
you try to make it look like times now is better than a heroin epidemic, you are nuts. You see what I mean? This
Yeah,
ain't
but
shit.
let me. So hold on. Let me.
Sorry, man.
So these what you're doing. You're having a serious case of like solipsism, brother, to where
What
you're
is that?
trying to. So you're trying to slant everything to being a negative compared to one like era, which we agree with, right? That we didn't experience. So it's like you are making an argument nobody else can make because we didn't live in that time, we didn't live in that era. So no one's trying to argue that, right?
No, I'm
Relatively,
not. It's not me arguing it. See, the thing
well,
is,
no, hear me out.
you're not
No,
respecting what was before you. See,
no. We are.
this why we having this problem.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
bro. My bad.
not about me not respecting the DC Slim, right? Just like I could say the same thing on the inverse about you now, right? So because you've seen the worst of the worst, it's like people that lived during the fucking Great Depression, right? Of course, they're gonna tell people that lived after it, nigga, that ain't shit. A motherfucker does y'all soft as hell. But yeah, I mean, it's the stress level that they have to experience. You feel me? So when
True,
you do
true.
that, bro, it's dismissive, right? And what we're saying is this is why we're missing each other. What we're saying is this: even though it's not as bad as it was 80s, 90s, drug epidemic, gangs, violence, all this stuff. Got it. We're not saying that, okay? But what we're saying is for the current time, right? With all the other things outside of that, even back then when all the people were getting killed, that was still nominal, right? You got a couple of million people to 100 million, right? Maybe 1% of the population gets killed per year, even at the highest levels, at the highest rate. Okay. So even then, it's really like not as bad as you're saying if we you know what I'm saying, we just do all in all numbers and numbers. What we're talking about though is far beyond and deep past that, to where we've transcended past the violence aspect of it, which violence is a very, very small part of like the human interaction and all these different things, right? We're talking about the relationship dynamic that literally controls the existence of society and the human race continuing. Okay. So the things you're saying is we're not discounting them, but what we're saying is you're not putting it in the proper context. And then matching it up with saying just take care of you and just make sure you're good. Yeah, of course, you have to make sure that you're good first. But in order for society to be good, have some type of contribution, some type of influence, and some type of care for everything around you to even regulate in whole order, right?
Okay, hold. Stay right there. Pause right there. 1 second. Watch this. The point that I am making to you is the shit been the same since the 70s. It ain't doing nothing but repeating itself. That's the reason why I'm telling you that you're wasting your energy because the people before me was telling me that. Okay. And the people before them was saying the same thing to them. Now, you want to know something that's crazy though? Black people were thriving in way worse situations than we in right now. All right. So the point I'm making to you is I would say
You
it's
know,
getting worse, but
you know,
all I'm telling you is that it's the same cycle. None of this changes, fellas.
But DC Slim,
you know,
and I'm Aaron. I'll let you go after this.
you
DC
got it.
Slim, we're not disagreeing. That's what we're saying. I think life in itself is circular, not linear, like you say, right? A lot of people think it's beginning to end, but like I say, that's just you. Me and you are each individual person is linear. You live, you die. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But even within that living and dying, there's going to be occasions and situations that you return to. And hey, I fucked up the last time. I know not to fuck up this time because that's what happened the last time. You feel me? So it's a
Yeah.
combination of it. You understand that. At the same time, though, what you saying there's nothing new under the sun from the Bible and everything else, right? And so on and so forth. And it's circular or it's cyclical, right? But just like in the 70s, you didn't have the technology, you didn't have the ability to communicate, you didn't have the different things there. So saying that it's the same, it's not. And that's what we're trying to
No,
tell you.
look, this is the best way I can say it to you.
Okay.
Everybody has gotten dumber. You seen me write this before. You got
Yeah,
stupid people with smartphones.
I
Fantastic.
believe you.
So
Yeah,
to
I
say now
feel you. And I,
the technology that you got,
yeah,
even
dumbs
though you
everybody
got
down.
it,
It makes people
it's
lazy.
not gonna work. Exactly.
It makes people lazy intellectually. It makes people lazy physically. I call it the Wally theory. Again, I cover this too, brother. That's what I'm saying. And I think we saying a lot of the same thing. Let me get go ahead, Aaron. It's on you, brother. Go ahead, and then I'm gonna get frame runner in. Aaron, you there?
Oh,
There you
my bad. I was muted. Yeah, no. So when he said, long ago, before the '70s, we were thriving, doing very well, even though we were dealing with a way worse situation. That success was facilitated by the nuclear family. The reason why we were succeeding is because we had family. And it got to the point we were on a trajectory to do so well. They took a 1 pound chunk of C4 and inserted it in the middle of our shit and put a
Well,
detonator
your
cap on it.
C4 is Instagram. Until you
No,
look,
no.
okay, let's make it easier and make it so I can stop looking at all these women, all right, on Instagram. Let's be real. If we want to have this conversation, let's be real. So what I'm
Well,
gonna have to do is get rid of all of the video
a
channels.
conversation is when two people have a back and forth and are able to finish their sentiment.
Now I'm with a conversation, but I'm not with like gaslighting and like
I'm
you ain't
not
gotta like
gaslighting.
halfway. Hold, let me show you.
Well,
Don't sit
I'm
here.
not
You don't have to
gaslighting.
talk like that, bro. In
well,
order to have a great
But DC Slim,
society,
this is what
I
he's
have
saying.
to stop
But
the women.
hold on, let me step in. DC Slim. So this is the thing, brother. We had the issue the last time, brother. Well, we don't have a problem with you disagreeing or whatever, and we're letting you disagree. The thing is, whenever someone else starts to come, you're stepping on them. So let
Yeah,
them
man,
go.
I ain't used to. I'm used to just being in the barber
Yeah,
shop. My
I
bad,
got you.
dog.
But yeah, I got you. So, but like it's more difficult here because it's digital and it makes it difficult for things to be heard and said, and we have an audience also. So just give him the time to fully
Oh, okay.
get done
I
what
never
you done.
knew that. I got you.
Yeah, we
I
got you.
got
We're
you.
gonna do this, Rock. Go ahead, Aaron. My bad,
All
brother.
right.
Go ahead.
My bad, Aaron. Much respect. My bad, dog.
No worries, and I I try my best to employ brevity and not be long winded. But so what I was saying was, let's see, what was I saying? Right. Shit. Now I done forgot. Fuck.
I can tell you what you was saying. You say you wanted a better family. We started a long time ago when we had a great
That's not.
family.
I didn't say I
You was
And
wanted a better
talking
family.
about the 70s specifically at that time, Aaron. You was talking about the 70s specifically, and you were going from there.
Oh yeah, no, before the '70s. I'm just saying that family is the reason why we were successful. And around the '60s, I'm not talking about Instagram. The 1 pound chunk of C4 that they put in our shit occurred in the '60s and '70s, right? And then what they did was they put baby oil all over the floor, so we couldn't get our act together. We try to stand up, you slip and bust your ass. That was the '80s, the crack epidemic and shit like that, right? We couldn't regroup. And now what they do is they stick rat poison in the food and contaminate the water source. That's the social media and things of today. right? There are these things that what they do to toxify the thought process and the zeitgeist of the black community in America. And what I'm saying is, it's up to the people that have figured out a way around that and to figure out how to defeat that to give those tools and information to those who want it, to have these conversations in public. Because without doing that, I mean, we stay silent, who's going to speak for us? Who's going to do all the talking? Being silent will only allow more of what the same thing has been happening, except worse.
Okay.
Proactivity is the path to success, not complacency and not resting on your laurels. It's not gonna work. That's like
I'm a
saving
I'm
money is
a
a bad
uh, I'm a Malcolm X brother. I ain't with all the pretty talk. You can't say all that to me. I'm not, I'm not on the "We Shall Overcome" and I'm not gonna sing happy songs.
deal. Me
If
neither.
you want your problem fixed today, brother, and I'm just being honest, you're going to have to kill a lot of stuff. The machine that you are going against, you are wasting your time. But guess what you can do? Mind your own business. See, once again,
So
we back to that because
how
the
does that
machine
benefit?
that you're going, that benefits you. Once again, like I said, why
No, I'm talking
you
about the
have to,
community.
bro, listen, the community gonna fix itself. You know, when if you died tomorrow in the next 85 days, the community's still going to function. I don't know if you realize that. So somebody has told you this one thing they do to us black. We cling on hope, no action. You know what? I would rather have you have a conversation with me. Let's talk about business. Let's talk about going to put some people in some seats and sign some papers so I can get some control. I'm
Yeah,
over
no,
hope.
but see, that's part of the conversation.
That's what
That's
the
one
think
of the
tanks.
things. That's one of the things that's woven into the conversation. In fact, one thing I often talk about is how important my wife is when it comes to running my businesses. And that's part of the selection process men need to understand when looking for a wife. How can she be beneficial to him? What kind of value can she bring to him when it comes to those sorts of endeavors? And what type of woman is she going to be that can raise the kind of children that take over that business or that start businesses of their own in case the parents have it, right? Business is woven all into the conversation. Like for example, if you want to get into business and you said save your money, that's a lousy strategy.
Now, when I say business, I'm saying I want rappers to stop buying cars and buy some blocks.
Okay, can I interject with this real quick because you're kind of majoring in the minors. Let me ask you a question. What's the percentages of businesses that are created by family in America? What would you say?
I
Like,
wouldn't. I would say it's a very large, depending on what area you are.
okay,
And
so
all of that's going to be based on the economy of the state or the
no.
city that you in. It's just not going to be random.
My point being is you have in order of you saying, oh, we need to, oh, black men need to focus on businesses. You can't start businesses if you don't have a solid nuclear family. If your family environment is not stable, you cannot thrive in the business sector.
Hey, bro,
Most
man, let me ask you a question. How are you going to make my family better? Give me one answer.
by what I'm doing right now, by letting you, notifying you of the situations. People have to people underestimate this space. This is more of a think tank. This is not us whining and complaining.
I
This
didn't
is
say
really
that.
a think tank. No, but
You know,
see,
most of us don't
you're
want
making a
that because
straw
we
man
already got it.
argument. Like you're
No,
bringing
that's
up
not. No,
rappers.
you're actually making the straw. I'm
No,
giving you the
no.
reality. What
You
is the
saying
meaning of the word straw man, brother?
meaning that you're creating a problem or an idea that was never initially in a part of the premise of
Okay, now which one of us are saying the reality and which one of us are
you brought
saying
up.
the dream?
I brought up stats this whole time, especially with my last stat. You were the one that brought up a rapper. You telling him, oh, you don't want to talk about rappers, you want to talk about business. It's like we black people use these like gimmicky words and these cliche things, generational wealth,
See, here we go.
this and the third. But bro, you get about it's the net of the things. The bottom line. What what is the overhead of what we're talking about? I want to get to the numbers. You're
The
talking
the
about.
overhead is all of us black people ain't the same, bro. Stop trying to put
I
us
never
all
said that
in
though.
the same
See,
box.
you're creating
Yeah, but
another
he's
straw
yeah,
man.
DC Slim.
That's
So he's
no.
not. So DC Slim. Just real quick, brother. So what he's saying is this, man. Like he said, and again, this is what we're trying to say, right? You have your ideology, right? But your and we're not trying to change it. Whenever we say something to you, you're saying what we're saying is either make believe or just the thing that we're being fed, and it's not realistic or it's not reality, right? Or you're using the reality thing to say everything you're talking about is what it really is, and what we're talking about is what we're being fed for the most part. Now,
So
not
I'm not
everything.
allowed. Fantastic. I'm not allowed to say, and just make sure we got this right.
You can say
So
whatever you want
you
to say.
tell me something. I'm not allowed to say that that's not real.
No, I'm not, and that's what I'm saying, brother. You said it plenty of times. I'm not saying you're not
Okay.
allowed to say anything. I'm saying you're allowed to have your ideology, but at the same time, you're trying to tell you that that's the ultimate nullifier. So whenever we say something else, you say, okay, well, that's just not real, and then it's like, okay, well, we're never going to get anywhere in the conversation if that's your
You know
reply to
why I'm
everything.
saying it fantastic? I'm gonna be honest with you.
Go
Because
right
I
ahead.
feel like y'all trying to swindle me. All right, let me tell you why. When me as a black man, and when I listen to the words, the specific words that y'all using, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's this how do I want to say it? Like, black man, you haven't been around. You don't know the numbers, black man. This is a think tank, black man. Like, you really don't know what you're saying. Little do y'all realize I have read a shitload of books. I know a lot. I have heard this before. I am uncomfortable with it because I think it's a scam job. And
Why?
y'all should be ashamed of yourself because
Why?
you should know that no white man, nobody that likes us as a people, is going to give you that unless you have to show and prove. Every time we got too many think tanks. Have you ever seen a
You
white
know,
think
you know
tank?
what you sound like. You
A
Yeah.
sound like.
Chinese think tank?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
called the
Yes.
absolutely.
Manosphere,
Yes. Plenty of them.
the White
Yes. Let's do it.
Manosphere.
Well, not even
The
a
white
manosphere.
manosphere?
So hold on. So hold on. I can give you. I can give you a short. Wait.
You
Let
got
me
the
give you.
Young Turks.
Yeah. So well, no. Let's get away from that. So, brother, there's been think tanks. Literally, that's how the World War One and World War Two were won. Right. That's how Germany took over power of Europe and became the almighty fucking boogeyman that it was until everybody else in the whole world had to come together to defeat it, brother. Think tanks, NASA think tank. Let's see, Elon Musk and AI think tank, internet think tank, brother. It's plenty of examples that we can give. For the NAACP think tank, Rainbow
Civil
Coalition
rights.
think tank, Civil Rights Movement
Civil
think tank,
rights.
Civil Rights Movement
Hey,
think tank.
just so
So
y'all know what
hold
kind
on.
of person I am,
So,
I think the world is flat. Dinosaurs ain't real and they ain't go to the moon. So you see where I'm at with it?
Honestly,
yeah,
DC
I'm still
Slim,
where
you,
you at.
you
So
know what
so
you
I
sound
Getting
like.
agree.
way
So
off
hold on.
topic.
So let me see. I don't know about the dinosaurs part. I don't agree with that. I'm not a flat earther, but I know for a fact that they didn't go to the moon. So again, one
Okay.
out of three. One out of three.
Okay,
Let,
cool, cool,
You know
cool,
what,
cool.
DC Slim, you remind me of when people like. It's what really irks me about black people, bro. Whenever
See, there
you
you go. See, you hold up, pause right there. See what you just did right there? Let me show you something.
well,
Listen,
he's being
listen. Let
honest,
me
but
show you something.
DC
When you're
Slim, wait,
talking,
brother. You're not allowing him to do what you're doing.
no, you're right. You're right. You're right. I am sorry, but I had to get you right here on this. See how you just said, the first thing you said was, this is what pisses me off about black people. Watch
Yeah,
this. Are you more nigger than me? Are you more black than me
it
because
depends.
you go
How
to a
much
think
chicken?
tank?
How much chicken do you consume a week?
I like that. Good comeback, homie. Good comeback. Pause.
No, but no, this is my thing. Like, I hate whenever me and Fantastic talk about this. People, oh, these stat in the hat niggas, right? It's like whenever we try to, whenever we try to use stats, because we are about we. And I'm not saying that you're not a man, but as men, we see the world through quantifying
yeah.
something. We have to rationalize it first. We can't feel our way through things. We can't say, oh, my uncle Leroy down the block ain't have issues with his wife, so I don't know why you having issues. But then as soon as I bring up data, it's like, why you worrying about data? You stat in the hat niggas in the manosphere. It's like this is how we rationalize. This is how the world in general ration. We quantify, we compute, and we reason. We use our reasoning to come to a conducive conclusion. And whenever I bring up any type of numbers, it's like niggas lose their mind. Like what? That's the only way that we can justify our rationale if we have it backed up by something that's empirical. That's the
Do
only
you
way that
think your numbers can be swayed to your favor though? Because
numbers are
you
not
only bring the
swayed. Numbers
stat
are
up when it's
universal.
your benefit. Hold up, no,
Numbers
listen.
numbers
Did
are
you hear
not.
what I just said?
You can't.
You
What is
bring
it
the
saying? What
stat up in your benefit, so you won't use the stat in any other thing except for your argument.
Well,
So
no,
this
no,
is
no.
why
That's the
somebody will
point.
always. No, that's not the point. That's called being
Yeah.
biased.
Well,
So if
no,
I
but DC
say
Slim, that's
something,
what he's
go
saying.
ahead. My
So
bad.
just real quick. So no, DC Slim, no, it's not me bringing up to the benefit. It's just the numbers are the numbers, brother. The numbers are
Nah,
the
the
numbers.
numbers are not the numbers. Just like this thing you was
Okay,
talking
so
about
so,
earlier
so
with this
hold on. So
pregnancy
explain it
thing.
to me. So
That's
explain to
not
me.
as a whole.
So when are the numbers not the numbers?
Dog, numbers can be tweaked. Numbers lie
Okay,
all
so
the time.
so DC Slim. So this is what we saying, right? So if all numbers are fake, what's the point of any numbers?
No. Hold up. You won't get me with that. Back up. Get back in the
Exactly.
car.
That's what it is. I know, but
I didn't
that's the
say all
argument you're
numbers was
making.
fake.
I just say
No,
math is
no. Hold
racist.
up.
Math
That's
I
is
the
did
racist.
argument
no,
you're making,
no.
brother.
Once again, I didn't say numbers was bad. I said that if we're talking about numbers in this specific argument, you need to bring them up in another one and another one. You don't consistently use them. You only use them for your favor. So when you say like what you was talking about earlier with the percentage of women that's not having babies, I think that's a fucked up, flawed percentage because that's only one news show.
You
I
know what
don't
you
see
said?
that.
I feel. You said I
Well,
feel.
well,
Well,
That's what
I can
y'all do
only
right
feel
there.
because I only saw the one where he just showed me. So I
Math
haven't
is
well, yeah,
done
not
my
math
own
is not
research.
about feelings.
so DC Slim, just real quick. So do you understand? Even though that's one news station, right? The video I
Yeah.
showed, they didn't do the research. That came from that they just did the story that came from the research, brother. I
No,
had
I'm
hold on, just hear me out. I could have clicked on 7 different other sources that had the same exact information. The source of the information is the source. Now, the people that choose to talk about it and give their version of it and give whatever their commentary is going to be is always going to be different. It's just like me talking about whatever I'm talking about. Me and somebody else can be talking about the same exact subject, but it's just us talking about the same thing from different perspectives. So that's why I'm saying what you're talking about. The numbers is not about a favor thing. The numbers is the numbers. Just like I
the
give
numbers
credit.
are always favorite. Hey, fantastic. Let's see. One thing I can't do is lie to myself.
Okay,
Everybody uses numbers for their favor. Like you would
okay.
be
So
stupid
no,
not to.
but no, I'm not. It's not my. I'm getting lost because you're saying my favor. There's been points to where I've said, okay, well, no, black. Like, let's give a stat for black men, right? Black men, a negative thing for black men, the college shit. Everybody talking about black men going to college, low college numbers, right? And higher numbers of violence against each other, like, you know what I mean, y'all, black on black crime or proximity crime, right? Bro, that's not favor. That's not something
No,
I'm proud of.
look,
That's not
favor
something
is if you're gonna check a stat and say pregnant women not having babies. You know what you gotta go check now?
what.
Stat of deadbeat black men who won't have why people ain't that. You gotta balance that shit. You can't just be on here crashing out on women and not crashing out on the idiot ass niggas too,
Yeah,
because
but
it's a
that's why I
double
say I know
thing.
you knew. So hold on. So now we're at a fundamental, like, we're at a fundamental, like, impasse, right?
Okay,
Because
fundamental impasse.
let me tell you the problem with that, right? So, and as you saying this, because you're the oldest gentleman here, right? So me, I'm 40, 41, right? So I can tell you specifically for the last of me understanding what society was and watching TV and listening to music and all these different things, over at least the last 30 years of my life, all I heard is what I like to call the ain't, can't, don't, won't theory. Niggas ain't, niggas can't, niggas don't, niggas won't. Niggas is gay, niggas is broke, niggas don't take care of their family, niggas don't take care of their kids, niggas are down low, niggas are all getting locked up, niggas are dumb, niggas are irresponsible. Brother,
I am completely, totally over that. If I've heard it for 30, I know you've heard it for at least the same 30, if not more. Okay.
What's the
Now,
percentage of
hold on,
it though?
hold on,
Now
hold on,
you
hold on,
want to
hold on,
use
hold on.
numbers. Let's use numbers.
What's the percentage of the men? What's the percentage of the men that actually fit that narrative?
Yeah, all that, everything that you
All
just
that
said.
narrative, I give you at
Yeah,
max. I give you at max 15%. By the number.
15%.
Cool.
Damn.
And I can break it down for you. So from the criminal aspect, that's 1%, right? The broke, poor ass niggas that ain't got no money or whatever, that's like maybe 5 to 7%, right? And then you just throw some extra shit in there, so on and so forth. So like I said, at the max of these niggas that you want me to acknowledge, that will be the a major minority. That's why I don't need to talk about them. And
Wow.
like you said, hold up. And to your point, what's the point of me talking to them anyway? Because them niggas is never gonna change. Piece
So
of
why
shit
you
niggas.
talking to the
Hold on,
women though?
wait, brother. Hold on. I didn't cut you off. A piece of shit nigga is gonna remain a piece of shit nigga. So why am I gonna waste my time talking to or about him? He doesn't need to be acknowledged. He doesn't need to be addressed, and he's already overrepresented. I am completely, totally over the bullshit about talking about what black men need to do. Black men have less children than black women. I just did a story the other day, brother. Black women have 1 million more children than black men do. Okay? You know what that
That's
means? That
racist.
means
That's math is racist.
that means black women are being far more irresponsible with their pussies than men are being with our penises, brother.
See, you
Okay?
gotta understand, my brother, Mr. Fantastic. That's the white man's numbers. You see,
Hey,
my
but that
brother.
number
You
is
gotta
tricky
understand, my
because
brother.
it's not that
It's not
many of you.
tricky. It's
It's
not
not that
tricky.
many
You
of you
gotta
though.
What you
understand
mean? It's
that
not that many of what?
a
So
million was a part of the what's that guy they say that created white people? What's that? What's that?
Oh, Yakub.
Yakub. You see, that million was created and engineered by the Yakub. That million represents the 666 of when the Klan rally started, my brother. Those numbers are a part of white supremacy. Let me,
But chill out, Azrael. Hold on. I gotta get my man Frame Runner. Frame Runner, I greatly appreciate your patience, brother. Go ahead and then we'll come back around after you have your say, brother. What you got for us?
Man, we don't went so far off the top. It ain't even funny. But in order to get back on pace, I think we
Yeah,
need to just get back.
set us right, brother. Set us right. Appreciate you, fam. Go right ahead.
I would say we need to bring back manufacturing. We got too many men ain't roaming around like without opportunities as far as job opportunities. I do think we need to bring that back.
Well, we're in the process of that right now. So that's the whole point of this whole tariff shit and this tax shit that's going on. People don't understand, but people so mad at the president, they don't like him, that they don't understand that the major gist of this is pretty much pricing outsourcing out. That's what Donald Trump is doing. Donald Trump is literally trying to price out outsourcing. If you take that shit to another country and you ship it back in here, you might as well build it here, because I'm a motherfucker make you pay so much money to get it back in here that you're not gonna make a profit anyway. So you can just bring the jobs here, right? Build the factories here, build the products here, have American made, and everybody wins.
To that point, that also exposes one thing about us too. We're gonna see how pro-black we really are. Do we really support black businesses? Instead of going buying that other product, there's a golden opportunity to replace a lot of that stuff on our own. Really,
shit, we don't produce nothing. Black
that's
people
the,
don't
that's the,
produce a
that's the
goddamn thing.
opportunity. The money is on the table. Is what I'm saying. If
Now the
there's a
money
lot,
on the table, but they gonna have it. Jay-Z and 50. Look, think of this. Look, just let this
you
sink
ain't
in
got a
for a
next.
second.
You ain't got to necessarily rely on them
Nah,
dudes. There's other options.
nah.
There's other
I
people. It
just
can't
threw
do
them names
everything.
out there. The actual black millionaires and billionaires that nobody talks about is thriving with that kind of shit. But watch this word. Never say this again. The old head told me this a long time ago. Don't call it a black business because you ain't gonna make no goddamn money.
True, I give
McDonald's
you that.
doesn't say black business. Once again, going back to what they tell niggas to say, they actually train us to say dumb shit to sabotage ourselves. So black business, niggas say, let's start a black business. Ain't no black billionaire that's a good businessman. He ain't gonna touch you with a 10-foot pole because he gonna call you racist. Is that racist to say black business?
there's no need to do that.
No. Just ask. Answer the question. Does any other business say a color? When you
Yeah,
go to
yes,
Burger
they do.
Yeah,
King,
You ever been
Yeah,
to
they do.
LA?
Oh
Chinatown,
yeah,
It's called
Little Italy,
Koreatown.
Little Havana,
yeah,
Little
yeah.
okay,
Haiti.
They
Little Havana, it
Italian
don't say
restaurant,
black.
Chinese
No,
restaurant.
yeah.
hold on,
You
listen,
ever been to
listen.
New York? We have a place called Little Italy. We have Chinatown. We
Okay,
have
all of
Koreatown.
these
Come on.
places that you just named are land masses, not fucking colors.
What?
Oh, okay.
I get
They're
what you're saying.
places,
No, I get what you're
not
They're
saying.
still
No, we get
so.
they're
what you're
still
saying.
practicing group economics.
Yeah,
We're
so
arguing
the
semantics, aren't we?
so you're speaking about the nationality versus black being a color, not a race, all these different things. I feel you, or nationality or having a what's name. I feel you. Still, what we're saying, brother.
Exactly.
I'm talking about group economics.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
speaking on.
exactly. That's what we're saying. So, like, I mean, they don't call it. I don't think it's little Israel, but you know what I'm saying. It's like they literally say it's like Jewish.
It
Jewish
might be
town.
one somewhere.
Yeah, well, no, it's Jewish. It's Jewish town. So actually, for those people, they call them by what they are. So it will actually be. It's not Israel or anything.
Or they
They're
call it
Jewish.
the historic
Yeah,
Jewish
yeah.
town or something
That's what
like
I'm
that.
saying. So that's what I'm saying. So black people can do the same thing. I think there's this, and this is the problem I have, right? Because you making a great point, right? Everybody always talks about how Black Wall Street was blown up and all this other shit. There were plenty of more Black Wall Streets after Black Wall Street. You have modern day Black Wall Streets or black business hubs here. Atlanta is a black business hub. It's a majority, is like one of the few major cities that's predominantly black, right? And then you have some of the highest earning black people. Hell, your area is PG County.
Yeah,
PG County
PG
is
County, #1 black county in the United
that's what
States.
I'm saying. And the wealthiest area code, zip code in the United States. So those things exist. We just, you know what I mean? We just don't call them that again. You feel me? But at the same time, in those, most of the people that's making that revenue, we aren't making it through our own business acumen. We're have
We're
high paying,
basically
high earning,
workers.
high earning jobs with corporations.
Prime
So it's
example is
kind of
PG County
yeah.
because most of them are government workers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you're not, if you don't, we haven't built it, built it in order for us to shop there or shop with each other. And I think Frame Runner's point is a lot of the reason why black people don't is, bro, we fuck it up on both ends.
Do you
Okay,
ever?
so if you have a business and I patronize your business, but you give me horrible service or you give me horrible product, you can't complain to me once I stop shopping with you because you think I deserve less. I think it's literally a huge psychological and sociological thing between each other, man, as to
Yeah,
where you see a black man, you feel like he learned, you know what I'm saying? It's
he
people,
deserves
it's a
less
thing.
than.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like you, motherfucker, don't go in motherfucking Gucci, Fendi, Prada, Louis Vuitton trying to bargain for shit. But you come into my store, hey man, let me get a discount and all this other shit. People have been saying this for I don't know how long, and I don't know
Hey, but
why. You know what I'm saying?
fantastic. Why you think they do that? Why you think he do that
I
though?
Because they
don't,
don't respect
I
men.
don't know. That's
Because
what I'm saying.
No, you
because the
know
white
why
They
it
don't
man
is?
is
I
respect
got an
black
spoiled.
men.
answer
That's
That's
for you.
why.
why.
The
Because
They don't
reason why
respect
he
their own
do that
homes.
because he gonna say you my brother, man. We supposed to look out for each other.
He don't respect himself.
Yeah, but that's what I'm. But again, you don't. You again, if DC Slim, if I got a T-shirt for $25, and I just saw you in the club last week with the Rude shirt that cost fucking 200, brother, don't play with me, my nigga. Don't do
Oh, he
that.
gonna play with you. Get ready for
Well, that's not, but
it.
and that's what I'm saying. So DC now he's disrespecting me because it's like, okay, well, you want to support me, but you want me to give a discount for some shit where I literally seen you with products that you know what I mean. It's whatever. I got the same quality. I'm just up and coming, and I'm your brother, quote unquote. But in order for you to shop with me, I have to take less of a profit margin when you're overpaying by 10,000% over some shit that literally costs $5 to make, and because you got a certain name brand on it, you're willing to pay more than exorbitant premium. Yeah, man. Nah.
You're not popular enough, fan. Fantastic. Look, man. Let me tell you
It
something.
ain't got nothing to do with
You ain't got
popularity.
a
It's about
popular.
respect.
Ain't no respect. Respect, man.
I
What the
feel
hell you
you.
talking
No,
about?
DC Slim.
Respect,
Respect guys everything to do with it. They don't respect
Yeah,
the
DC,
brand.
man.
DC Slim. I got you, and
If
that's
you
what I'm.
put
And
a
that's what I'm
price,
saying.
if you put a high enough, people respect expensive things.
Yeah,
Man,
but
I
DC
don't
Slim,
respect Gucci.
it is DC Slim.
Somebody you ain't gotta respect it. Somebody else does.
No, that's what I'm saying. But listen, what I'm saying. I can't get popular if the black man never supports me. If I got some good shit, DC, you know what I mean? It's a good product, it's a decent thing, it's a brand I'm trying to get off the ground, but the black man never fucking supports it. Hey, it's never gonna be popular. Then at the
Hey,
same
I'm
time,
gonna say this, and you ain't gonna like this. Fantastic. You ready? And
I don't
everybody
know,
listening ain't gonna like
whatever you
this.
say, brother. I'm cool. Go ahead.
Stop trying to get niggas money. Niggas, a lot of niggas ain't got no money to spend with you.
They
See,
lying.
that's the problem. When people come to America, All right, like they had the show on Half Joint earlier about the African that come to America and the Spanish nigga that come to America and go right past niggas. See, the problem is them niggas don't want none of your little money. They ain't even thinking about your ass because they know you on some bullshit. That's why don't nobody want to do no business with us. We got more excuses. Nobody want to just man up, mind their business, work on their mental, and get on out here and we all do our shit as an individual joint and we'll look great. But nope, it ain't gonna work like that. So when you start your business, fantastic, go get some of that cracker money, go get some of that Chinese money. I don't know if you're gonna come back to the hood or not, but hey, do you.
After he
All
get
right,
that
bro.
money, why would he come back? I
So
wouldn't.
so
So
by you saying
Hey,
that,
especially
then
if niggas not
you ain't
fucking with
black.
me anyway. If
Why
the
would
if the
why would
black
I
man
leave
not
the
gonna fuck with me
source?
anyway, I
Yeah,
mean,
why would I leave the water with the what they call it, the drinking fountain, the drinking
yeah,
pond or whatever it
yeah,
is,
yeah,
the water hole? Why would I leave the water hole?
yeah.
Like, come on.
Let me get this super chat, man. I'm gonna close. We'll get final thoughts. We'll close it out. Shout out to Truth and Reality Undefeated for the truth. Appreciate you, brother. It's a oasis, hoflation. The market needs a reset. Yeah, man. Again, it's too many hoes, man. So many hoes in here. But Azrael, go ahead, brother. What's your final thoughts for the situation, brother?
I just want y'all to understand, math was something that was used against us as a people. If Gloctavius has 5 apples and Demarquavius has seven, how many Glocks do they have between them, brothers? We will never understand that because that is a part of white supremacy, okay? Yakub has created these percentages, is the reason why I still owe child support, okay? I want you to understand that, and the devil is a lie, okay? And that's all I gotta say for now. Peace.
Frame runner, what you got for us, brother?
Man, appreciate me let me on the panel, man. Peace.
Always, man. Appreciate you, man. Aaron, you got anything for us, brother? Close it out.
fantastic, love you, brother. Appreciate the hospitality. I'll leave everyone with this. Action is action is useless without planning. First, you have to understand the problem. Then you have to understand the environment the problem exists in. Then you have to develop a solution. Then you have to develop a contingency, a triple redundant contingency. All of this requires discussion and study. Stats are stats. They're numbers. They're not proof, but they are evidence. Evidence that can be studied so that we can find out how to keep history from repeating itself. Because you guys are right. Our individual lives are linear, but life itself is cyclical. We got to get off the fucking rat wheel.
Great words, brother. DC Slim, what you got for us, brother?
Hey, like I tell y'all all the time, man, don't be stupid people with smartphones, man. Research and challenge every goddamn thing. I don't care if it come from a nigga that look like you or a white person. You know what I'm saying? But far as like that video I sent you, fantastic of the chess and cons, man. I would love for you one day just to play that 2 minutes for the
Okay.
world and just let everybody see. And look, man, I ain't got nothing against nobody. I don't think nobody wrong. I'm not trying to be a hating ass old head. All I want y'all to do is just try some new shit because this shit that we've been doing ain't been working. 1,000, homie. Stay up.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. Hey,
Peace.
man, great. For sure. Shout out to everybody that came through, man. And again, man, listen, support the one of the greatest supporters of all black business, be it black YouTube. Y'all already know who it is, man. Come on now.
That's $25,000 alpaca. You block that shit. Right. You don't rubble. Put the club soda on there.
Shout out to Creed, the lowly lady with the money, always putting the club soda on it, supporting black business as always. Hey, can't do it without you, baby. Greatly appreciate you always coming through, showing love. Appreciate everybody else that came through, man. The likes, the shares, the comments, all those different things. The monetary, the telling people about me. People out here using brother fucker. They spreading, they spreading the good word. You feel me, man? Hey, I appreciate everything y'all do, man. At the end of the day, though, listen, human life, giving life, birthing life is one of, if not the most beautiful thing and important thing in the world. Because again, we have to have more people. I really, really hope that women understand the just how the seriousness of delaying it to a point of where you're putting both yourself and the child at a higher risk of not surviving or coming out with defects and deficiencies, and the impact that's not only going to have on your personal relation with your child, right, but how it's going to implicate, you know, on the entire world and population over time if, you know, women start shifting that thing too far to the right. You feel me? But anyway, man, hey, greatly appreciate everybody that came through. Miss Fantastic 824 on all social media platforms. That's that on that one. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Holla. We out.